in here. On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
You know, they say there are no days off for college football coaches. Yesterday would mean Sam Pittman might deserve a day off at some point. Well, I don't think he's got one planned for a long, long time. Let's see, what happened yesterday? Well, yeah, there was practice. You know, he had to coach practice and worry about that. It was at the Hogs Illustrated luncheon at 12 o'clock. Sometimes Clay Henry's there, but he's on a big vacation, which we'll hear about next week, involving a lot of expensive fishing. Pittman then was there for practice on campus, and then was at the Catfish Hole for the first Sam Pittman live radio show hosted by Chuck Barrett. Had Trey Knox and Simeon Blair there with him. And at the Hogs Illustrated luncheon, Sam talked about, and you know, you look at his career, and he's like coached everywhere, everywhere, at least east of the Rockies is what it feels like. And one of those programs that he has coached was the Cincinnati Bearcat football team, 1996. And, you know, it was kind of funny when he talks about Janie didn't want to move to Cincinnati because it's a big city. He looked at the population figures of Cincinnati and Tulsa and saw Tulsa as a larger population, and she would have been just fine moving there. And ended up just 1 year at Cincinnati, and then moved on to Oklahoma for more dollars, better football, and a program that automatically gains respect just by being the Oklahoma Sooners. And Sam Pittman did mention that Cincinnati is a little bit like Arkansas in the sense that they are trying to earn respect as a football program. Now, Cincinnati, however, is, I mean, this season they had last year, an undefeated regular season and a blowout loss in the Cotton Bowl to Alabama, was the best season that Cincinnati has had. However, this is a program that should already have all the respect in the world. The only problem is they don't play in a Power 5 conference. Heck,
anymore. I mean, they used to. You got to remember,
they were
this
a Big
was,
East team.
That was an automatic BCS league.
And they won that Big East a few times,
They
too.
did.
But then after that, you know, once the Big East blows up over in the American Conference, it's a little bit difficult to earn that national respect, especially after you lose 9 players into the NFL draft. I think the going thought might be, well, you know, they're not going to have that kind of depth built up to be able to sustain this kind of success. However, I mean, they've had 10-win seasons 8 times since 2007. That tells me a football program that knows how to build depth. Last 4 years, 44 wins under Luke Fickell, who is the newest rising star there at Cincinnati, although they're going to do everything they possibly can to keep him there with, what is it, over $5 million paying him? Look at some of the coaches that have come through Cincinnati in recent years that have parlayed success in the Queen City of the Ohio River into bigger jobs. Mark D'Antonio parlayed success at Cincinnati into Michigan State. Brian Kelly from Cincinnati to Notre Dame. Butch Jones from Cincinnati to Tennessee. D'Antonio and Kelly have kept some of the momentum going. Butch Jones obviously is not. 13 players selected in the last 2 years in the NFL draft, 9 last year. I don't know. It sounds like it's a program that just automatically should deserve respect by virtue of the amount of success that they've had. Really, just looking under Luke Fickell, never mind of what's happened since 2007 or anything that happened in the Big East. They are going to be a Big 12 program. They may end up being one of the top programs in that league once they get there. But they don't have a lot of success against SEC schools. And they
Who does, though? I mean, come on.
That's a good point, but that's also where some of this so-called respect might come from. you can win the American, and you can go undefeated. But I guess in the eyes of, well, we who cover the SEC, the people who live in the footprint of the SEC, and really coast to coast, where everybody certainly understands that while the Big Ten may have a bigger television contract, they don't necessarily have the depth of quality football programs and the string of national championships that come out of the SEC. Cincinnati does have 4 wins all-time against SEC schools. And Arkansas does not want to join the list of the 2 schools that have been defeated by Cincinnati since they've been in the SEC. The last win for the Bearcats against an SEC team.
Can I take a guess?
Was the 2011. I'm giving you a hint already here.
2011, I'm guessing is what
2011 Liberty Bowl.
2011 Liberty Bowl. Okay. I'm going to say that one would have been against Kentucky.
Vanderbilt. They beat Vanderbilt 24-7. They have 2 wins all time against Vanderbilt. You are correct, however, in where the other 2 victories come against.
I figured it'd be
the one tie came against Kentucky. Arkansas does not want to be in that category of Kentucky and Vanderbilt. And part of the issue here is that I think, based upon the recent success, based upon players who have been practicing behind college stars that are now in NFL camps, and players that they've gotten to transfer in, and just the overall mojo that this program's had, and they have one of the best coaches in the country. I'm just going to say that this version of Cincinnati is probably better than the version that beat Vandy in 2011 in the Liberty Bowl, or any of the other 3 wins against SEC teams against Kentucky and Vanderbilt. So, and this is going to be, I mean, if Cincinnati is going to join that same conversation as last year, as contending for a national title. Now, they've got their targets set on an American Conference championship, but they get a Super Bowl to start the season. Arkansas does too. Anytime that you get a college playoff entrant that opens your season against you the next year, that's got a sense of a bit of a Super Bowl for you. But then again, Arkansas plays against Alabama and everybody else in the SEC West in a road trip to BYU. Awfully difficult games. So we've been focused on trying to look into Cincinnati. You can rest assured, since he's not too worried about how they play, who they play week 2, 3, 4, 5, because they get a Super Bowl to open the season in 9 days, 8 days. We'll give you 9 days. That's right. I got to remember our games are on Saturdays, and I'm thinking about Fridays for some reason because we're going to be in Harrison next Friday.
There we
are. This is a Cincinnati team that had their Super Bowl early last year, and they took it to Notre Dame. It's maybe a bit of a different team, but they've got the kind of mojo where, hey, forget about what you think about what might happen in Week 5, Arkansas, Alabama. We'll worry about that once Arkansas plays Cincinnati, and you see, whether or not some of the questions that we've had about this team will be answered, whether or not. And they're going up against a good team, so that'll probably help not answer the questions about how good they are in here or there, but at least give us an idea of how good they'll be going into South Carolina. I don't want to hear about Alabama very much. I don't want to hear about October.
Well, we better not take Eddie's call today then.
Well, he's going to come at some point. It's a Thursday, and that's a day Eddie usually calls. But, the point here is that I think Sam Pittman is right. Cincinnati does have to play that card of no respect, because any team that's not in the SEC or the Big Ten really has to play that card of no respect. But when you're not in the Power 5, when you are a playoff team from last year and you're not even thought about as being anywhere near it in the very next year, I do think they're looking for some respect. And one way to win respect is to win a game against an SEC team, especially when it's in that SEC team's backyard.
Yeah, and I do think that people need to be more cautious about Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a great program, and under Luke Fickell has done a really good job of not just getting them to a high level, but maintaining a high level. And you get Jackson from Fort Smith, and I kind of can see where he's coming from. It's and Chuck Barrett brought this up on the Morning Rush the other day. It's that kind of SEC elitist type of talk of that we play the best football. Nobody else can compare. Nobody else can walk on the same field with us. And while that may be true to an extent, That's not 100% true here against Cincinnati. Cincinnati coming off of 3 incredible great seasons, back-to-back-to-back, 10-plus wins all 3 years. We're talking about a program that, while they might not be a top 25 recruiting program, this is a top 40 recruiting program. This is a program that Luke Fickell has recruited at a very high level in the top 50 since he's been there. These are very talented players. They've got their entire offensive line back. While they might have to replace Desmond Ridder, the guy that's coming in is a 4-year senior who has not transferred in or out, has been there all the entire time. This is a guy that knows Luke Fickell's system. This is a guy that has some talent and will be a decent foe against this Arkansas team. I think Arkansas is going to win this game. Don't get me wrong. But for Jackson or anybody else out there to say that Arkansas, you could give him Arkansas minus 24.5 and he's going to take Arkansas with the points.
I would take that bet, Jackson.
That is way too much confidence. I promise you, this is a really good Cincinnati team. And also, you got to remember, like I said, they are joining the Big 12. The American, I know it's not the SEC, it's not the Big 10, but it's not a joke of a conference. There's a reason that when 3 out of the 4 teams that are joining the Big 12 are coming from the American. There's a reason that since we've gone to a playoff, every single Group of 5 school that is represented in a New Year's Six Bowl has been from the American Athletic Conference.
Right,
like this is you're playing a Group of 5, but you are playing the 1% of the Group of 5 here. You ain't playing Arkansas State. La Tech's not walking through that door. Florida Atlantic ain't coming to Fayetteville. You're talking about Cincinnati. That is a good program, and I'm sure a lot of people out there are laughing at me, saying the AAC defender coming to every...
All right, American Athletic
exactly.
Conference
But
fan.
I promise you.
All right,
I promise it's
the
good.
American Conference.
They are good.
I don't think anybody thinks the American Conference is crap or that Cincinnati is crap. They're just looking at the idea that they lost so many players from last year, and you don't think that they can replace them. But I'm here to tell you, there's enough depth. There's enough depth built through recruiting at this program where 24.5 points. I'm going to give you an honest answer here, Jackson.
I'll take that.
I would take that bet any day. If there are 12 games on the schedule and 8 of them could be decided by one score, this is one of them. This is one of them. 877-377-6963 to get on halftime. Bob Holt will join us next, so stay with us.
This is what I want. This is what I need. This is what I want. This is what I need.
Y'all ready for this?
Hey, this is Chuck Barrett, and I want you to know how excited I am to be part of the team at ESPN Arkansas. It's a winning team, and I'm glad they've let me sign up. I've missed being on the air. I've missed talking to all of you, and I'm going to get a chance to do that again, and I'm very happy about that. I hope you'll make plans to join me. I'm going to be on 3 days a week with Ty and Tommy on the Morning Rush, and you can follow me on Halftime with Phil Elson, and I'll even make an appearance or two on Ruskin and Zach. So join me on ESPN Arkansas.
Save up to $8,000 off on a great pre-owned vehicle at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. The manager specials are right on the front row. These are wonderful vehicles. Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Many still have factory warranty remaining with discounts up to $8,000 off. And at Harry Robinson, you always get more for your trade. These savings and the best selection on pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs is at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal.
Wave Rural Connect has opened their Lutherville zone, serving Hagerville, Knoxville, Lamar, and Ross areas with fiber internet starting at $49.95 a month. TV and phone service available too. Sign up now and the $100 install fee is being waived. Call 833-492-8372 or go online to signup.waveruralconnect.com and get the best customer service available and the fastest internet from Wave. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust, Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
The most demanding anglers want equipment that fits their lifestyle. Make G3 Boats by Yamaha your fishing partner today at Adventure Oklahoma and Auto Finders in Roland. Want to just relax and rejuvenate? Then a Suncatcher pontoon by G3 is just what you're looking for. Now is the time to get in on the 2022 year-end model clearance event at Adventure Oklahoma and Auto Finders through September 1st. G3 Boats and Suncatcher pontoons built to last. See them today at Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma in Roland. See inventories online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Stop by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith, where it's happy hour all day, every day. Stop by anytime and try our $4 cocktails. Choose from a Bloody Mary, Cape Cod, Tequila Sunrise, Whiskey Sour, and more. There's also $5 glasses of wine, and Miller Lite 12-ounce drafts are always just $2. Get to TGI Fridays for lunch Monday through Friday for our $9.99 burger deal, available until 3 p.m. and comes with fries and a soft drink, tea, or Miller Lite draft. Order online for pickup at Fridays.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
I've been ready since the season ended last year. I've been ready for the season to start. I've been so ready to go, like, study film over at Cincinnati. I'm sorry.
That was Tykees Crawford at yesterday's post-practice media session. With I kind of think he's mirroring exactly the way most of us feel now, because talking season has another week, and they've got to be ready to just go up against Cincinnati. I know they're already been installing things, but now starting to focus on the opponent today. That's what Sam Pittman said in his radio show yesterday. Bob Holt was at the media session yesterday, and he joins us here on halftime. Bob, you all right? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Doing all right, man. Doing well. Tykees was, I think Tykees probably mirrors the way everybody else feels. Now, maybe once the Outback Bowl was complete, Razorback fans were more ready to shift into basketball gear because you always look at what's next. But for the football team, I can imagine there were quite a few of them, Tykees maybe being at the top of the list, that were just ready to get to next year, knowing that that there was room for him to improve, knowing that there would be opportunities on that offensive line for him, and here it is. It's a week to go, and you could tell by him talking yesterday, he's just ready to get out there and hit somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have been. This is nearing the end of the third week, and and they do a lot of workouts in the summer. Obviously, going back to spring ball for a lot of them. Some guys didn't arrive here until the summer, but you got spring, off-season workouts, spring football, summer workouts, training camp. It's just a whole lot of work, and you only get 12 games if you're lucky enough to stay healthy, and then hopefully you possibly, conference championship games and playoffs, bowl games. I think 15 is probably the maximum that any team can play. But yeah, at this point, yeah, they're tired of the DBs can call out the routes the receivers are running. The defensive linemen can call out, the checks probably the offensive line's making, and the offensive line knows what blitzes are coming and the coverages, and they just know each other so well. And they're definitely ready for to hit on somebody else, and excuse me, hopefully put all this good hard work into action, because all this hard work is all about the games.
Tykees Crawford is an absolute beast. I mean, he is humongous, and that's even after losing, what was it, 70 pounds? Did I hear? He's 6'5", 347, but he reported to Arkansas last year close to 380 pounds. So, I mean, even losing a lot of weight, this guy is still gigantic. Sounds to me, from what he said yesterday, Bob, that he may end up being, there might be a couple of guys like this too, one of the Swiss Army knives, just like Ty Clary last year. I know you could move Brady Latham over to center. There's an injury to Ricky Stromberg that opens up a spot on the right side for Crawford. I know that's where Sam Pittman said he'd like to have Crawford play this year, but he's going to be the sixth guy. He's the sixth man for that offensive line, and I do think he's the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, Sam Pittman said as far back as SEC Media Days in July that Crawford, is good, and he needs to be on the field. Now, he didn't say he was going to start him, because they had 4 starters coming back, and Luke Jones is pretty much locked down that left tackle spot where Myron Cunningham had been the starter. But Dalton Wagner's had some back issues. He said earlier in camp that he feels good, hadn't been an issue. You hope it won't be an issue for him, but you never know. Plus, especially when they're playing this fast-paced offense, I mean, the idea is to wear out the defense, but it can probably it'll be tiring for the offensive linemen too. So you like to have some fresh bodies in there sometime, or they cross-train these guys a lot of spots. Like I say, the idea is to get your 5 best available linemen on the field. So if one of your starters goes down, you don't say, well, who's the backup left guard or who's the backup right tackle? It's like, well, who's our next best lineman? And he's worked at A, B, and C, and so we can move this guy or put him in wherever. And yeah, Crawford seems to have a lot of versatility. He's worked at right tackle and right guard. I honestly don't know if he's worked on the left side, but he doesn't seem to have any issues with playing wherever they need him. He seems very confident. And I guess 65, he said he came in at 380, now he's 315. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he's sitting there. I mean, when you see him in pads, he's massive. And when you see him just sitting there in a polo shirt, he's pretty darn big too. So, and he's a guy who transferred in from Charlotte, where I'm sure he could have started at Charlotte as long as he was there, but he came in and was a backup last year, and he may be a quote backup this year, but like you said, I see him as the next guy in, whether they want to give somebody a break or somebody gets hurt. So I think he's going to play significant snaps this season. I'm sure he's excited about that.
Sam got talking a little bit about memories of Cincinnati. Coached there 1 year. And again, he's coached kind of almost everywhere east of the Rockies, and I only mean that in positive ways. But he had fond memories of Cincinnati. I know he coached on a coaching staff that had a couple of NFL head coaches.
Yeah, I had not realized that until I knew Rick Mentor was the coach. I didn't cover Rick Mentor, but I knew he'd gone to Henderson State, and he was a GA here in '78 for Lou Holt, and he was head coach at Cincinnati for several years. He was defense coordinator at Notre Dame. And I knew he was the head coach. I did not know that John Harbaugh and Rex Ryan had been on that staff. And you look, and there's a couple other guys that had extensive NFL experience. Of course, Sam Pittman, a successful SEC head coach, was on that staff. So it just goes to show you that everybody start off at the top. Nick Saban was a GA at one time. All these guys were, probably started as GAs, and so. But that was enlightening to me, or eye-opening. That wow, that's a heck of a good staff Sam was on, and he has moved around a lot. I think he just had some bad luck in terms of getting jobs with coaches that were kind of in a win now situation, and then when that coach gets fired, whether it's Derek Dooley at Tennessee, or I think Charlie Sadler was the coach at Northern Illinois, John Blake at Oklahoma, different coaches at different stops, Sam would kind of get swept out with the rest of the staff, but he's never not had a job. I mean, somebody always wanted to hire him. So I think he's had maybe some bad luck with some situations he went into. Obviously, Georgia was a good situation. He could have coached years in the system as long as he wanted. Now he's back as a head coach. But, yeah, I added it up. I think it's 17 different stops, usually a lot of one-year places, which I don't think that's necessarily how he would like it, but that's just kind of the way it's worked out. But now, I expect him to be here at Arkansas for several more years. Expect him to retire here. He's obviously got the retirement home in Hot Springs, and he's 60 now, and he's committed to Arkansas, and they're committed to him. And I'd say this is Sam Pittman's last stop.
Yeah, and multiple reasons why, exactly. I mean, you look at his career, and I think a 4 or 5 year stint at North Carolina is the longest that he's been able to stay somewhere. And we know that coaching is a gypsy-like life. Sometimes you're not always in control of how long you're going to live in that city, and it's expected going into it. But when you're given the opportunity here, to be near the top of your profession and make over $5 million and everything, I mean, at some point stability means something to you, and stability that is based upon success and liking being there, but also there's a point in your life where you just want to stop moving around and you have a place to stay, and that's one of the reasons why this feels like such a great marriage between coach and school.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Sam, if he wanted to, could go coach at other places with the success he's had, but he's been an Arkansas fan going back to, I guess, his high school days, coming over here for a camp when Lou Holtz was the coach in the 70s, and he's from Grove, Oklahoma. He made a joke yesterday about some T-shirt. I haven't seen this myself, but I think he said it's got the state of Arkansas and it's got Grove annexed to be part of the state of Arkansas. I think that's what he said. I think I understood that correctly. But, yeah, sometimes things just align and you say, well, that guy's the perfect coach for that job and that's the perfect job for him. And I think that's really, the way it is with Sam in Arkansas. And, of course, coaching the SEC, it's great rewards financially. You have great facilities and fan bases and all these things. But the flip side of that is you need to win, And I don't think people expect Arkansas to win like Alabama. That's not realistic. That doesn't mean they can't compete for SEC and national titles. You think about how far Arkansas has come in the last couple of years. It's kind of mind-boggling to think they would go 9-4. 2 years removed from 0-16. Back-to-back SEC years, and anything's possible. I mean, Vi Petrino had great success here. Houston Nutt has some great teams. Obviously, Ken Hatfield who holds Frank Broyles, the godfather of it all, so to speak. So you can do it at Arkansas. It's not easy, but you can do it if you have the right coach. I think his history is showing, and I think at this time Sam is the right coach for Arkansas.
It can be done here. Just need a lot of things to line up there, Bob. And one thing, it seems like Sam thinks that everything is lining up. And this coach's show yesterday made the comment of a lot of teams, they feel like they have some weaknesses and they have to hide it. But he said that they don't. They don't feel like they have any weaknesses. When I hear that, I think that's really good. Coach Pete, that's confidence. But then I also kind of remember that defensive line is not exactly where they want it to be yet.
Well, they've got experience back there, but they lost all three starters, but they definitely have some experienced players in Isaiah Nichols and Eric Gregory. And, Torian Carter just a huge loss. That guy was really having a great spring and got hurt, and we don't know if he's going to be able to play this year or not. But that was a huge loss. But Terry Hampton, the coach from Arkansas State, I think has come in and really impressed with his strength, and he's going to be able to help him. Cam Ball, a redshirt freshman who was out of camp earlier but is back. I think he can help him. So, and sometimes they only play one tackle. You know, if they're going a 3-man line, sometimes they play 2. But yeah, they don't. You know, I don't know if they have an all-SEC caliber player there, and obviously you like have some all-SEC type defensive linemen. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a dominating line, but I think it can be, a solid line, and you feel pretty good about the linebackers with Bumper Pool leading that group, and big deal to have Jalen Catalon back. But yeah, if you're looking at positions that maybe have some question marks attached, you might go with the line. They've obviously got some experienced guys on the edge. Zach Williams and Gregory can play out there. They've got some transfers to help, but yeah, they do look like they're in good shape in a lot of different positions. Mm-hmm. My whole thing with Arkansas is the schedule. It's just such a tough schedule, and a lot of games could go either way. And if they're going to win, 8, 9, 10 games, they're going to have to pull out a lot of close games, I think.
Mm-hmm. One thing that has turned from a question mark to what a lot of us are expecting to be, a very important part of the offensive and an exclamation point is the wide receiver core. But two names that we haven't heard a lot about, when it comes to their roles in this wide receiver core would be Bryce Stevens and Keytron Jackson. What do you think their roles are going to be? I mean, are they just going to come in there to give guys like Landers, Hazelwood, and Thompson breathers, or are they going to play major roles in this offense?
I don't know if I could see them playing major roles. Those other 3 guys you mentioned, it should probably get the majority of the snaps and majority of the targets. But I think, Jackson and Stevens, they've been in the program for a while now. They've got some good speed. They could help in their return game. I think, they've got 3 true freshmen that could help in that receiver rotation as well as on special teams too. Isaiah Satania and Quincy McAdoo, and I have a brain break here, but I think they're going to be, 8, 9 guys deep. Now they're probably not going to travel that many, but receivers can play on special teams a lot, whether it's returning kicks, covering kicks, because they have such good speed. So they don't have anybody like Traylon Burks, I don't think, but they do seem to have a pretty deep room. And Landers has come in and added a lot of speed. As a transfer from Toledo who began his career at Georgia. So yeah, that's gone. Now they haven't played any games yet, so we got to see what happens against Cincinnati. That's obviously a good test early, and then they jump right into the SEC against South Carolina next week. But from everything we've heard from camp and a little bit we've seen some nice catches by those guys. That receiving group has gone from being a question mark. You feel like that could be a strength for them, but the season hasn't started yet either.
All right, last thing, Bob, when trick of the trade sort of stuff. We've gotten answers about this from Mike Irwin, from Clay Henry, the guys that have the experience of what it takes to see what you need to see at practices, and people who have covered the team back when you could watch every practice and go talk to who you want to talk to, and then have everything sort of selected for you and curated, and you only get to watch 20 minutes. What is a trick of the trade that you currently use to get the most out of your 20-minute viewing session at practice?
Well, it kind of depends on what I'm working on, but if I'm going to be writing about a particular position group, once they break into their positions, I like to go, kind of focus in on that. Well, one, make sure who all is working in that position group, make sure some guy hasn't moved, from tackle to end, or receiver to running back, or tight end to tackle, whatever, maybe offense to defense. I kind of like to focus. I think it's very hard to get a big picture view in 15 or 20 minutes. You can do that, but I think it's hard. I mean, you can get an idea for the pace of practice. But what I like to do, of course, Tom Murphy's out there most of the time being the main eyes, but I like to focus in on a certain group, a position group, and, just kind of see who's doing what, who's looking good, who seems to be getting first-team reps, maybe how they're interacting with their position coach. Is he having to get on them a lot, or does he seem pretty happy with what they're doing and the enthusiasm of it, all that? So I kind of like to focus on a position group, although obviously that can cost you some big picture stuff, but that's what I like to do.
All right, well, trick of the trade from Bob Holt, who knows lots of tricks of the trade. Bob, appreciate you, man. Let's do it again next week.
Okay, you guys take care.
All right.
Appreciate it, Bob.
Holt, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Maybe do a segment, Trick of the Trade, with some of the real veterans and know what it's like to cover this team in many different ways for many, many years. Also, a shout-out to our friends at Crabtree RV Center in Alma. They've been serving the River Valley for over 72 years. Family-owned on a 17-acre site right there at the junction of I-40 and I-49. 26,000 square foot indoor showroom. Got an RV park, service, and parts department right there next to the Cracker Barrel in Alma. And you've been voting the best of the best for 7 consecutive years. Go by and see Bert all the game. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, right next to the Cracker Barrel. CrabtreeRV.com. Calls and texts at halftime, 877-377-6963. Right back.
Do you suffer from lower back pain, knee pain, foot pain, or fallen arches? Do you? If yes, just stop and write this magic word, G-Defy, G-D-E-F-Y. What is G-Defy? G-Defy is the footwear designed by Gravity Defier Medical Technology with the worldwide patented VersoShock sole. Their shoes are clinically shown to relieve pain by a double-blind clinical study conducted by Olive View UCLA Medical Center. You can try a pair for 30 days with free corrective fit orthotic inserts. If you're not satisfied, just return the shoes for a full refund and keep the free orthotics as a gift. Put an end to suffering. Save $20 and get free shipping from Gravity Defier when you go to gdefy.com/radio and use code RADIO. That's gdefy.com/radio, code RADIO. You have nothing to lose but your pain.
Checking in at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. This dealership takes a lot of pride in everything that it does on a daily basis. Whether you're coming in to look at the new Ford Lightning, the electric truck that Ford's put out, whether you're coming in to check out the Quality Check pre-owned side with all the different makes and models of the trucks, the SUVs, the sports cars. Hey, if you're looking for a full-service dealership that cares, this is one of them. They, matter of fact, just sent their detail shop to St. Louis. They are certified now in detail. It's the only shop around that has that certification. So when you want a full-service dealership, front to back, front of the house, back of the house, come by and see us at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. And don't forget, if you can't make it to us and you need that car serviced, we have that mobile service unit as well. Vote best of the best. Randall Ford. They care about this community. They've been here for 114-plus years. 4th oldest Ford dealership in America. Go vote today.
This is Northside head football coach, Coach Felix Curry. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940. This is Northside head basketball coach, Eric Burnett. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Football in fall, what a great time of the year. It's also a great time to take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Summer is here. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has everything you need for your next picnic, trip to the lake, and outdoor fun this summer. Smoked ham and turkey are perfect for sandwiches at your picnic. Take Art's brisket, ribs, and pulled pork to your next lake trip. And every Saturday at Art's, every thick and juicy burger is $1 off. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, the best barbecue and burgers in town. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
Why do people do business with First Western? Because First Western builds relationships with all of their customers. They partner for the long haul to help you with your financial goals over all seasons of life. First Western is prompt, responsive, and they deliver with quick answers and on-time loan closings. When is the last time your banker called you? If you are looking for a high level of service and a financial partner who will listen and respond, try First Western. For more information, visit them online at firstwestern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
We were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. Yeah, the bonnie boat was one as we sail into the mystic.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Cody has just used that phone number to give us a call here on Halftime. I got to figure out if some information Bubba Carpenter just texted me is actually airable. Or
Well, it sounded funny because
I was howling there.
there's
for
a big LOL, literal LOL.
Has to do with the renaming of the live South Carolina Gamecock mascot. So you take that where you think it goes and understand why I was howling and why I'm not really sure if I can bring up
Not sure
all
exactly
of
what
these
Bubba
names.
said, but I'm going to guess it was a doozy.
Well, just keep in mind here that the actual mascot, the one that wears a costume, is called Cocky, and then the live mascot is Sir Big Spur. And they're not allowed, like, there's a whole controversy.
Do I have to salute Sir Big Spur?
Sir Big Spur.
Feels like
that's
I have to
right.
walk by and go, Sir Big Spur?
There's a controversy with the initial couple that owned Sir Big Spur and the couple that they either sold it to or now holds the rights to him, and the name didn't transfer over, so they have to rename the live mascot. That's like you would have to try to find a new name for Tusk. Now they got to try to find a new name for Sir Big Spur. And there's one of these names. Bubba's listening right now. Bubba, you're trying to get me fired. I know this. I know how this works. But we've got Cody on hold. This gives me an opportunity to think about this for a moment. So Cody, take it away. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing well.
I'm nervous.
Not
right
as well as Phil, apparently.
I'm
He's having a hoot and a half over there.
I'm very nervous at this moment that I'm going to say something that I shouldn't say.
Yeah, and I don't know how to feel about that's my introduction on this call. That's where the conversation's gone.
Well, I could have said, now we'll go to the phones, and here's Cluck Norris.
Steer us back right, Cody. You got it. We swerved in the other lane. You got to turn the wheel hard. You got to get us back going.
Right. In that case, I actually didn't get to call in yesterday, but I heard the conversation about pool holes. Man, in y'all's opinion, do you think that they're giving enough attention to that situation? Like, Ruskin and Zach had some good points, shockingly. They were talking about how the 700 Club, it's so foreign to everyone, and it's honestly something where you may not see another player get to that number. But I want to give you a little insight on what I remember of Albert Pujols. I believe it was rookie year. First base was O'Neill. Second was Fernando Vina. Shortstop was Edgar Renteria. Third base, I don't know if it was Rowan or not. I think it was, guys. I'm not positive. And
I think it was Scott Rowan, yeah.
Yeah, third base. And Pujols was in left field, guys. Center field was Edmonds. Right field was Jordan.
Oh.
And then the catcher was Mike Matheny, and our starting ace was Matt Morris. I remember.
That's one heck of a lineup.
Pulos's fresh rookie year, guys. I'm telling you, 330 a year batting average, 30 home runs. There were 30 stolen bases a year for a while, guys. Like, people don't understand how talented they do. Like my age group, but that's one of the rare people we're ever going to see play baseball at that level again. The Angels, the Asian guy, he's good, and then Mike Trout. But those are the only other comparisons I really have as far as natural ability, day-to-day ability, year-to-year ability, consistency. But I just want to make sure everybody's given proper respect and due to Pujols. He's a class act, too. Off the field, you think about his charities, the things he does for his stepchild, just everything that guy does, man. It's one of those rare – he's a genuine – he's a good guy, and he needs to be revered, man, because they don't make them like that much anymore. But I just want to get y'all's insight on that and let you know, as Card fans, man, it's a special time for us. But y'all have a good one.
I appreciate the call, Cody.
Good to hear from you, man. And I mean, look, there was in his time with the St. Louis Cardinals, like Albert Pujols was more consistent than Hank Aaron was at his peak with the Braves. I mean, Aaron was incredibly good at always hitting 38 to 40 home runs. Now, Pujols never hit 50, but he had a stretch of 4 consecutive 40 home run seasons. Did it 7 out of 9 years at one point, which is incredible. Stole a couple of bases here and there. But, Ruskin and Zach are right. Like, 700 is a number that when Barry Bonds got there was much more conversation about what he did to get there that was chemically induced.
And that was the problem. Barry Bonds, whether you love him, whether you hate him, whether you think that he belongs in the Hall of Fame or not.
Right.
He tainted the number.
Remember, Bonds retired at a point where he probably still could have continued to play and be a designated hitter.
He should. He could have,
in the American League. Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that. The craziness about Pujols, the thing where it's different than any other star, I think, in baseball history, is that he almost literally disappeared and was like close to a replacement level player.
Forgot about him
for like 5 to 6 to 7 years with the Angels. I mean, he had a couple of years with the Angels that were okay, but he just disappeared. And if you're going to disappear, like out on the West Coast with the Angels,
that's the place to do it. Nobody's going to remember you there,
right? Or like the Athletics, that's a place to go disappear in front of 9,000 people. That's what makes this story so incredible. And when you look at the numbers, when you look at the 3 players that have hit 700 home runs, heck, if you look at the guys that hit 600 home runs, it was always consistent, never under 20. Hardly ever under 25 or 30. You had some big years here and there, like with Bonds, but even before the whole steroid thing, he was still a 30 to 35 home run guy. Heck, he had over 40 with the Giants his first year there in '93. Babe Ruth was incredibly consistent on a year-by-year basis, and Hank Aaron defined consistency. Albert Pujols was consistently good with the Cardinals. He was consistently meh with the Angels for 10 years.
And that's another crazy thing. I mean, just do the simple math. You talk about a guy hitting 600 home runs. Let's say he averages 30 a year. It takes 10 years to get to 300, right? That means it takes 20 seasons to get to 600. That's why what Albert did in the early part of his career, what he disappeared and did do, I mean, did obviously add to the numbers in Los Angeles, and now coming back, and especially these last few weeks of really raking and putting the ball, over the fence, it has been incredible to watch because you think about it, a really good power hitter is right about the 30-35 mark. I mean, I think that's a realistic goal that everybody that is considered a power hitter should have. To even get to 600, if you average 30, takes you 20 years.
And the thing about Pujols, and I think you see this with Bonds too, heck, you saw this with Hank Aaron and almost with Ruth too. Ruth struck out quite a bit for that era, but Albert Pujols has nearly as many walks as strikeouts for a guy that's coming close to 700 home runs.
Pretty good.
Nuts. The other thing he's got in his numbers here is a 297 career batting average. Mickey Mantle finished with a 298, and he always said his one career regret was that he didn't finish over 300. And it's the last few years that dropped that batting average, because Albert was like a 330 hitter with the Cardinals. It was a 250 hitter with the Angels. And that's one thing you look at. He's got the 3,000 base hits. He's got almost 700 home runs, nearly 700 doubles, almost as many strikeouts as walks. But 297, 301 feels like it's 50 points different than 297, even though it's just a 4-point differential.
Real quick, as Crash always said, just one more ground ball with eyes, one more blooper in the left, and I'm in the show.
Yeah, he would have been over 300 at that point. All right, quick break here on halftime, and we'll see if I give you these suggestions for the new live South Carolina Gamecock mascot, and my career might be in jeopardy if I do it. Halftime.
It's good to be king, if just for a while, to be there in velvet, yeah, to give them a smile.
Harry Robinson Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Kids are back in school, and now it's time for Mom and Dad to have a no sales tax furniture shopping spree. At Prank Roll Furniture, starting August 12th through Labor Day weekend, Prank Roll Furniture is going to pay your sales tax. That's right, sales tax paid on all made in the USA furniture and on all appliances. Family owned for 28 years, we have in-store no credit check financing and service after the sale. Come see us at Prank Roll Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Holt or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
Studies have shown that people who can count to 5 without saying 1 or 3 can also enjoy the new 2-4-5 breakfast deal at Hardee's. Choose from a sausage and egg biscuit, country fried steak, or biscuit and gravy, now for less. That means more made-from-scratch biscuits for me. Bite into the new 2-for-5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price of participation may vary.
Up to $9,000 off on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson Salisal Ford. They're parked on the front line. It's the manager specials. Troy, these are the best savings on the lot.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, these are the deals that you've been looking for. I mean, up to $9,000 off of the asking price. You know, last week we were talking, you know, we hired a new used car manager. He went through our entire inventory. He repriced every vehicle we have on the lot. He added like 6 new manager specials. I mean, these are the units you want to buy. They're fairly new. Some of them, most of them still have factory warranty left on them, and they're up to $9,000 off.
And you have a variety. There's great selection.
Yeah, definitely. There's trucks, there's cars, there's SUVs, there's vans, whatever you're looking for. Come down here and see us. Give us the opportunity to earn your business.
And bring my trade because you always give more for each trade.
Yes, home of the more for your trade.
It's all at Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal, and always online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Yeah, now let me see that booty work, 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 booty work. Go ahead. Go ahead. Now let me see that booty work, booty work, booty work, booty work.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Hopefully you never have to worry about this with Arkansas Razorback live mascot Tusk. But South Carolina is dealing with a little hullabaloo here surrounding live mascot Sir Big Spur. I think all this kind of surrounds a controversy dealing with the comb on the top of his head, the red thing that extends out of the top of his head.
Yeah, I don't know what that thing's called, but
I think it's called a comb.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense since it's on the top of his head.
Sure, we'll go with that.
But the two groups of people that have had ownership of the trademark of the name Sir Big Spur are at odds. And so they're not going to allow it to be called Sir Big Spur anymore. So they got to have a brand new name for the live chicken mascot for South Carolina. I doubt they won't bring it into Fayetteville, unfortunately. Tusk does not go on the road, and I would love to see Tusk eat, the chicken.
Sir Big Spur.
Well, it's not what you're going to call him anymore. But I got this text. Bubba loved this one. This apparently is from the state newspaper in Columbia, South Carolina, the home of the South Carolina Gamecocks. And keep in mind, like the furry mascot, the one that wears the furry suit for the Gamecocks is called Cocky. So here are the names that the state newspaper has suggested for a new name. The first, Cluck Norris.
I like it.
I kind of like that one because
when Cluck Norris does push-ups, does he also push the earth down? He doesn't do push-ups; he pushes the earth down too.
Yes, with every step, with every peck of the beak, there is a giant hole that opens up on the other side of the earth. Whenever Cluck Norris is food, Marco Pollo. I like that one. I like that one. But here's the one at the top of the list, and this is the one Bubba had circled on the text: Cock Commander. Which
what?
I wonder if that's actually the one that's going to make it.
It'll win.
If you put it to a fan vote, that's the one that's going to win over Cluck Norris and Marco Pollo. Though I'd probably vote for Marco Pollo. I like that one. But there is the chuckle that you get when you say it anyway, so go ahead.
I'm voting
and
for
say
Cock
it to
Commander.
yourself, and I've said it once, and that's the only time I'm going to do it all day long. Into the second hour on halftime, so stay with us.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Light beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith is open and ready to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations available for ages 5 and up and the new second booster for ages 50 and up. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your booster appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Whew, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road Ready premium pre-owned vehicles. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Ask Shelter Agent Wade Gilkey about renter's insurance.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, quite a bit of sunshine, only a slight chance of a shower or storm across the south. Our high today in the mid to upper 80s, clear to partly cloudy mid to upper 60s tonight, and just a slight hint of an isolated shower or storm across the south on Friday, highs near 90 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 9 days. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
To have success, and I'm not saying you have to run the ball for 200, 250 yards a game, but you have to be able to run the ball when you want to. And we obviously are very proud of our tight ends, our quarterback throwing the ball, our wideouts, very, very proud of them, but they're also involved big time in the blocking aspect of it as well. Where it comes in effect, if you can't run the ball and you get inside the red zone, you're in trouble. And so I think you have to start the mentality of your football program by the physicality of running the football, and that's with all 11 guys on the field.
That is Arkansas head coach Sam Pittman at the debut of Sam Pittman Live 2022 yesterday on this very station. We'll have another one next Wednesday, of course. And it's a team that is expected certainly to run the football almost whenever they want to. Arkansas last year against the Auburn Tigers, and we're going to have Andy Burcham, the voice of Auburn football, basketball, baseball, with us in the next segment. Arkansas did run the ball last year quite successfully against Auburn, 232 yards, averaged over 4 yards per carry, but could not get to Bo Nix. Nix was comfortable in the pocket, and even though Arkansas had a lead early in the third quarter, ended up losing that game anyway. And that's the sixth consecutive year that Arkansas has been defeated by Auburn. Of course, in Sam Pittman's first year, he gets screwed over by the lack of a fumble call, allowing Anders Carlson to kick that field goal, and he ended up with a loss that you probably didn't deserve. And then last year, again, Arkansas leading 17-14 early in the third and ended up losing 38-23. That was one of 6 wins for Auburn in Brian Harson's first year. They did lose 7 games, though, including a loss in the Birmingham Bowl, and clinched Auburn's first losing season since 2012. And, I mean, look, you ended – Arkansas last year ended losing streaks against A&M, against Missouri, and against LSU. There's no trophy that's at stake in the Auburn game, but if you're looking to end a losing streak, and I know you're worried about losing 14 in a row to Alabama, but I would start with a 6-game losing streak to a program in Auburn that Arkansas right now certainly feels that they are maybe a little bit of a higher level than. So start with that one. Arkansas got blown out 4 consecutive years under in the first 4 years of this 6-game losing streak. Never really had a shot against them Chad Morris was the coach, but Sam Pittman's done well coaching them against Auburn. But you got to figure out a way to beat this Auburn ball club. That's one of the few teams in the league that still hasn't picked their quarterback. We got into this yesterday with Bill King, and it seemed Zach Calzada, remember Calzada's the quarterback that beat Alabama last year, quarterbacking Texas A&M as a backup for Nathan King, transfers over. along with a couple of other transfers. So it's all transfers at the quarterback position for Auburn. TJ Finley came over from LSU. And then Robbie Ashford, two-way guy, plays baseball as well, comes over from Oregon. There are really good reports about Ashford and Calzada. So they don't know who's going to be a quarterback for them, but I think that they will, just like Arkansas, try to run the ball a lot. Because they do have a really good running back in Tank Bigsby, 2020 SEC Freshman of the Year, an experienced offensive line anchored by center Nick Brahms, and that's the main strength of that ball club. But, I mean, if you're going to start with ending losing streaks, which Arkansas did so well last year, start with losing 6 in a row to Auburn, a program that has fallen on hard times. And I think it's safe to say, right, that if there's a coach that's on the hot seat right now in the SEC, it is Brian Harsin at Auburn. There was already, I mean, look, it's Auburn, so these things happen no matter what. But there already was a booster uprising that engendered an investigation by the school into the program.
Which was really dirty. A lot of it was.
They lost assistant coaches. Derek Mason took less money at a lesser school to be the defensive coordinator elsewhere. A lot of players transferred out, including Bigsby. Remember, Bigsby, I feel like if Tank Bigsby would have left that program, that might have, I don't know if that would have been like a death knell for Brian Harsin, but, I mean, that is one of the better running backs in the country. He was in that transfer portal for, 2-3 days tops, and then came back in. I think Malik Hornsby was in the portal a little longer than Bigsby.
I was about to ask who was in the portal longer, Hornsby or Bigsby. And it definitely would have been kind of the final nail in the coffin. I think if Bigsby had left, had basically your last dynamic offensive player leave, then it would have been pretty much done writing on the wall, whether it was over now or over at the end or middle of the way through the 2022 season, that Brian Harsin is going to be out. And one thing that I want to ask Andy is, what is the record that will keep the booster Wolves at bay? What record do you have to get to? Is it 7-5? Is it 8-4? Or are they so anti Brian Harsin that you're going to have to win 10 games and beat Alabama? Because it feels like it is the latter, where they are very, very, very anti Brian Harsin. Because let's face it, these are the same group of people that try to ruin a man's marriage.
And 6 wins are not going to be enough.
No.
But they don't. I mean, they do have some of the tougher road games. It's just the longest trip for Auburn is Starkville, 4 hours. They're playing in Athens, in Starkville, in Tuscaloosa for the road games. And it's just not very far to travel at all. But Athens, Starkville, and Tuscaloosa are tough places to play, and they do have that SEC West schedule. They also travel to Oxford against Ole Miss, so they really don't have any lengthy road trips, being right there in the middle of the SEC. But they do start with Mercer, then get San Jose State. No Nick Starkel on that club. Penn State is obviously a very tough out-of-conference game, but they get that one at Jordan-Hare this year after making the trip into central Pennsylvania last year.
They won that one, didn't they?
Yeah, they won. It was a tight one. I think it was a 2-point win. 2-point win.
That's right. I think it was wasn't it like a Bo Nix quarterback keeper around the right side and dove into the end zone to win it for him or something like that, if I'm remembering correctly?
Well, I don't remember the last play, but I do remember that they beat Penn State, because I remember looking at Penn State's schedule just before the Outback Bowl. We got Charlie on hold here. Charlie, we're going to be up against it in just a couple of minutes. We got Andy Burcham from Auburn Radio up next. How are you, Charlie?
What's going on? I was going to ask Drew over there. Hey, Drew, you're looking good. I know I'm about to pick you on a little bit. You're looking good with your weight loss and everything.
I appreciate
it. Let me ask you, are you and Maddie going to get together? Because I know Maddie probably is a good dancer. I mean, is he going to teach you how to dance, or what's the deal? You already got it down.
I mean, I feel like I have it down. I think the one thing that me and Shakira have in common is that our hips do not lie. But Maddie might be able to teach me something as far as more of a formal dance. Maddie, can you teach me how to waltz or do the salsa, or maybe what can you help me with?
The good news is when I was in 6th grade, I went to cotillion.
You went to cotillion?
So yes,
you need cotillion, Drew.
I know where to put my hands, and
we're not
to put them. Yes,
Maddie's got it figured out over there. I mean, that's what you need to be going to, Drew, to get some. I mean, I would give you some for free, man. I mean, I would help you out, but I'm all the way down here in Camden, and that's just a long way, man. I just can't. I can't help you. I mean,
Charlie, we're going to be up against it in just a moment here. So if you want the sports topic, hit on it.
Let me be real quick. Let me get off here. But I just wanted to say, Sam last night, he was at the catfish thing, and something that was really encouraging that he said that Tommy brought up this morning, he doesn't feel like there's any true weakness on this team anymore. And that is so encouraging, and I'm excited about that. I know y'all up against it. Let me get off here, but that's just, and I believe him. Anyways, guys, y'all have a good one.
I'm going to take you to the break playing this very clip from Sam Pittman Live yesterday.
We have three levels of leaders on the defense. If you go on the back end and you've got Blair and Catalan, and then you move up, you have Poole at the linebacker spot, and then Isaiah Nichols, at the D-line spot. And then on offense, you have so many returning starters, or great players, however you want to look at it. Obviously Trey's one of them at tight end, and then you have the 4 offensive linemen. Jones played a lot. So quarterback, running backs are back. And then, so we have a lot of guys that's played a lot of ball. And, there's not really what I call a weakness out there, and some teams do, and they have to hide them. We really don't have to hide right now.
That's nice to hear going into this season. Don't have to hide a weakness, but we'll see if there's a weakness once we get into the third or fourth week. Brought to you by Riley Farm Dental, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, right there at the entrance of Riley Farms at Highway 71. They provide all the dental procedures, including braces, implants, and cosmetics, and you can get a hold of them at 226-3500, RileyFarmDental.com, the website. Again, the address for Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A. Andy Burcham, voice of the Auburn Tigers, joins us next on Halftime.
We have big news here at ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. Our Razorback coverage has expanded in our new weekday lineup. The Morning Rush has added Chuck Barrett as co-host of the program. Ty and Tommy wake you up at 6 a.m. and keep you laughing until 9 a.m. Halftime grows another hour, shifting to 11 to 2. Talk about a great break with Phil, Maddie, and Drew. And Ruskin and Zach are now from 2 to 7. Your number one source for the Hogs is ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com.
Save up to $8,000 off on a great pre-owned vehicle at Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford. The manager specials are right on the front row. These are wonderful vehicles. Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Many still have factory warranty remaining with discounts up to $8,000 off. And at Harry Robinson, you always get more for your trade. These savings and the best selection on pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs is at Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salasol.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Espanol.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. It's another free weekend at World of Wireless. Just call 877-305-DISH for all the best deals and the best discounts with Dish from World of Wireless.
Yeah, sign up for Dish, get new service, get your multi-sport pack. So if you want all your additional sports channels free, they're throwing in that pack free for the next 6 months till the end of the year. You get your movie channels free for 3 months, get your HD free, voice remote in every room free, and right now they're throwing the Nest Hello doorbell, the self-installed $150 value doorbell system, absolutely free when you sign up for new service.
And all of this weekend, you can have them installed well before all the games begin.
That's right. We got sports coming up. We got football coming up. We've got the Playmaker you can add to your account so you can camp with it, tailgate with it. But you got to sign up for Dish this weekend. Get all the freebies on our free weekend. If you need anything, go to our website, wowfastinternet.com. You can check out our internet services for rural areas east of Fort Smith and south of Greenwood.
877-305-DISH for WOW World of Wireless.
Hey, this is Jason Christie from Park Hill, Oklahoma, the 2022 Bassmaster Classic champion. I'm excited to tell you about the Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. It is a smaller version of the Poppin' Pad Crasher, and it's a bait I'm going to use all summer on the Arkansas River. Frog fishing is one of my favorite things to do when summer fishing, and Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. is the right size and has the right hook set up to catch them. It's available at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. The Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr.
Studies have shown that people who can count to 5 without saying 1 or 3 can also enjoy the new 2-4-5 breakfast deal at Hardee's. Choose from a sausage and egg biscuit, country fried steak, or biscuit and gravy, now for less. That means more made-from-scratch biscuits for me. Bite into the new 2-for-5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price of participation may vary.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh, I rush until life's no fun. All I really gotta do is live and die, but I'm in a hurry and don't know why. Don't know why. I have to drive so fast, my car has nothing to prove. It's not you, but it'll do 0 to 60 in 5.2.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
It's always good to talk with the voice of the Auburn Tigers, Andy Burcham. Does football, basketball, baseball on the Auburn Radio Network. And he's usually good to give us some of his time. We've got with Andy on Media Days, and now with a week and a couple of days before Auburn opens the football season, we will talk with Andy once again. Andy, how are you today?
I'm doing well. It's kind of a rainy day here in Auburn, but we get ready for our first Tiger Talk tonight. It's our first actual broadcast on the Auburn Sports Network, and gear up for the September 3rd opener against the Mercer Bears.
That's right.
All right.
Well, we had our first coaches show yesterday with Sam Pittman, and it's a lovely day across the natural state where optimism runs high for this football program. Tell me the temperature around the Auburn football program, because it wasn't that long ago. A lot of us thought Brian Harsin might not make it through the month of February as the head coach, but he came through. He says the program is stronger after the investigation, and they've had spring ball and most of preseason camp leading up to this. So what is the overall feeling about Auburn heading into the second year under Brian Harsin?
I think it's a more galvanized squad this year than it was a year ago, and probably needs to be after the turmoil of the winter, especially January and February with the program. And I think they used spring ball to start that process of rebuilding the cohesion on this team. And one thing you notice with this ball club, and you've got 3 captains that were named just earlier this week, and all 3 of these guys could be playing elsewhere or even in the NFL. And Owen Papos certainly could be playing elsewhere, an outstanding linebacker for the Tigers. Derek Hall, an edge rusher for Auburn, he could have declared for the NFL had he chosen. And John Samuel Schenker could either be playing elsewhere or moving on with his life. He's married. He set Auburn's record for tight end catches a year ago. And all 3 of these guys decided to come back in the midst of everything that was going on in the winter. And I think that's the theme of this team. The guys that are here are committed to their teammates, committed to this university, and just as important, committed to this coaching staff right now.
Okay. So what do you think is the overarching strength of Auburn? If I were to guess, I guess I would say the running game, because I see an experienced offensive line, a couple of the really good running backs in Jarquez and in Tank. But in your eyes, what do you see as the number one strength of this football team heading into 2022?
I'll give you one on each side of the ball. And offensively, it has to be the running game right now, because we still don't know who's going to be named the starting quarterback, although we believe that it will be TJ Finley, and that will surprise some, as a matter of fact, because I think a lot of folks had given the job to Zach Calzada in the offseason, and yet I think it's going to be TJ that will make that start against Mercer in a week and a couple of days. But the running game is the most proven part of this team right now, with Tank Bigsby, who is healthy, and Jarquez Hunter, who is also healthy. And neither guy at the end of last season were what you would consider a healthy tailback for Auburn. And then you add a true freshman, Damari Alston, who's a little bit of a scat back, but they really like him there. And Auburn is deep in the tailback room and is talented in the tailback room. And then you go to the other side of the ball, and without question, Auburn's strength is up front. With the aforementioned Derek Hall, who was named one of the 3 team captains. You have an Echo Leota who transferred in from Northwestern a year ago and will come off the other edge and really came on for Auburn a year ago. He had 10 tackles for loss and 7 sacks and really improved as the season went on and has continued to improve in the offseason. And then Auburn added some bulk in the middle. At nose tackle, transfer from Oregon, Jason Jones, who's 6'8", 328. And then a really intriguing guy out of Independence Community College. He was ranked by some as the number 1 JUCO prospect in the country, Jeffrey Emba, who is 6'6", 313, and his nickname on the team is Thanos. And he hails from France. He's really an intriguing guy. I haven't gotten to know him yet, but he will give Auburn some heft behind Marcus Harris at defensive tackle. And then you've got Colby Wooden at one defensive end, and he comes off 61 tackles and 5 sacks a year ago. Auburn up front defensively has, I think, terrific talent, but also has some depth to go behind those guys. So I would say running game offensively and the defensive line on the other side of the football.
Well, hopefully Thanos forgets all of the Infinity Stones before Arkansas and Auburn match up against each other. Hey, so you mentioned the quarterbacks, and this is such a fascinating battle for this position. 3 transfers coming in, and I mean Zach Calzada is the one who beat Alabama last year at Texas A&M.
Right.
Robbie Ashford's giving up baseball in order to focus on trying to play quarterback in the SEC, and then there's
really good baseball.
And
yeah,
that's
he's
right.
a good baseball player.
Now he's not going to play baseball for you guys too, is he?
No, not that I've heard.
Okay, good. I'll celebrate that. But then there's TJ Finley, who it sounds like you think he might have the edge here.
I do. I think he has the edge, and it could come today. Perhaps Brian Harsin mentions it on Tiger Talk tonight, but I think sometime this weekend at the latest. I mean, because game prep has begun, I think they'll name TJ Finley. But the guy that's made the biggest move since spring ball is Robbie Ashford, the aforementioned baseball player who played 2 years of baseball at Oregon, but never played football. He's from Hoover, Alabama, the Birmingham area, and is the best dual threat quarterback that Auburn has on the roster right now. And he's really made up the most ground of anyone. And I think we will see him on the field even if Finley is named the starter. I think Ashford's going to be on the field in some packages just because of his running ability. He throws it well, but he gives Auburn a different aspect when he's on the field as far as RPOs, getting out of the pocket, getting on the edge, and that type of thing. So Ashford's the one that's made the biggest move in the offseason, but I think a lot of folks are still surprised, are as surprised that TJ Finley is going to be that number 1 quarterback for Auburn.
Mm-hmm. And with having a running back like Tank Bigsby, how much pressure is going to be on TJ Finley, whoever is playing quarterback for Auburn this season, to put up numbers and to perform? I mean, are they just going to be more of a game manager style type of players? Are they expected to not only put up numbers to really, really affect outcomes of games?
Listen, we know where the 2 schools that we broadcast for play in this country, right? The SEC West.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can have a quarterback that is just a game manager and just try to run the football only in this league and specifically in this division right now. Teams are too good. They'll stack the box on you. I mean, you're facing some of the very best defenses, if not the best defenses in the country, week in and week out when you're facing an SEC team. So, yeah, I think there's a little bit of pressure on TJ Finley, not only to handle the offense well, but excel in the offense. Now, listen, I don't think he has to go out and average 400 yards a game passing. I don't think that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any Auburn quarterback is going to be asked to do that, especially when you have a running game. And that is the philosophy that this run game, the pro style is the way that Brian Harsin runs his offense. It's the way he did it at Boise. And you're going to see TJ Finley, Auburn's quarterback, whomever it is, under center much more this year than it was last year. And last year is the first time Auburn had anybody under center other than a short yardage situation since before Cam Newton. So things have changed a little bit, but TJ Finley has to be, I think, more than just a game manager for Auburn at quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Now, for Brian Harsin, after the very public and really damaging type of off-season with boosters and rumors and everything else that has happened around the Auburn program outside of X's and O's and spring practice and now fall camp, what really is the vibe around Auburn as far as fans? And have you heard of a kind of a number of wins out there that to really calm things down, Brian Harsin has to succeed? Because most of us do believe, around that cover the SEC, that Harsin, even in year two, is truly coaching for his life right now.
Well, it's interesting, and I don't know what that number is because I think it depends on who you ask.
Mm-hmm.
And does that person have the power right now to pull the trigger on a head football coach? The average fan certainly doesn't, and they probably have a number in mind. Listen, I think the number right now for Auburn is that first 5 games. And you look at Auburn's schedule, and it's unusual because it's 5 straight games at home. It's 5 straight winnable games at home for Auburn, I believe. And what kind of confidence, what kind of momentum do you have coming out of the first 5 weeks of the season? Because after that, the schedule gets dramatically tougher. After the LSU game, and that's nothing against LSU or Missouri, but both of those teams come to Jordan-Hare Stadium in the first 5 weeks of the season. And then Auburn goes on the road. Auburn plays, I don't know, does anyone else play both Alabama and Georgia on the road this year? The 2 teams that played for the national championship a year ago. Auburn does. That's Auburn's first road game. Is
Arkansas got to do that last year, Andy. It didn't go so well.
Okay, exactly. Will it go well for anyone, for goodness sakes?
Yeah.
So Auburn has that schedule coming up, and after 5 in a row at home, it goes to Georgia and Ole Miss in back-to-back weeks before its off week. And then you've got the Hogs here on the 19th of October. One night, by the way, Phil, you'll love this, one night after Auburn plays Alabama in a fall baseball game.
Nice.
They play on Friday night before the Arkansas football game here. So that's going to be a fun weekend.
Yeah, that'll be
And
great.
then you go to Mississippi State, which was the most damaging loss that Auburn had a year ago here. You get A&M and Western Kentucky at home, and then you close with the Iron Bowl. The last 6 games of the schedule are brutal for this Auburn team. So momentum and confidence coming out of the first 5, I think, is the key.
You just mentioned the number 6. That's the winning streak Auburn has over Arkansas. 4 blowouts and 2 tight ones. Even last year was tight, even though the final score doesn't necessarily show that. Auburn played such a great second half. But Arkansas ended losing streaks last year against A&M, against Mizzou, against LSU. So the going thought is they're coming to try to end a losing streak against Auburn.
That'll be a fascinating game. I mean, for Auburn, that game a year ago in Fayetteville, I think, was the peak of the season. Things started going downhill after that game, and it was a good finish for Auburn. Auburn finished that game well. And I think it felt pretty darn good coming out of Fayetteville a year ago, as it should have. That was a good Arkansas ball club, certainly an improving Arkansas ball club.
Andy, I got to ask you a question about last year's game at Penn State, and not the game in and of itself, but the atmosphere. And, I'm a Pennsylvania native. I never went to a Penn State game. They have over, 110,000 there? If I remember, it was a night game and a whiteout and everything. You get them at home this year.
Game.
So, I mean, you've been in all the stadiums here in this league, and you know what the experience is like, and I know Auburn is a crazy atmosphere as well. How did the Penn State atmosphere measure up to what we think the SEC is about, in all of these cities?
I think folks in Pennsylvania wanted us to say that that's the greatest atmosphere that we've ever been in.
They put on more of a show, huh?
Yeah, and it was good. It's a great atmosphere. But listen, you see that just about every place you go in the SEC.
Yep.
Now, it may not be the 100,000, 110,000 seat stadium in Happy Valley, but, I mean, you're still going to A&M and Tennessee and Alabama with stadiums over 100,000. You still have great atmospheres everywhere you go in this league. So what I've said is it was an SEC-like atmosphere. And now Penn State gets to come and see what it's like to be at Auburn in week 3 on national TV at 2:30 on CBS. So I can't wait to see the response of the Penn State folks when they come to town. Because this place gets rocking now, let me tell you.
Well, I'm excited to see that, too, when Arkansas gets there on October the 29th. Because I've been there for basketball, I've been there for baseball, and I just can't imagine what it's going to be like inside that stadium and that Eagles flying around. Andy,
It'll
appreciate
be fun.
you. Yeah, it certainly will. And we'll maybe we can do it again that week and do a little preview of it.
Love to, Phil.
All right. Andy, appreciate you. It's always good talking with you. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure, guys. Have a great day.
Hey, thanks. You too, Andy.
Voice of the Auburn Tigers, Andy Burcham, joining us on halftime here. 877-377-6963. If you got any reaction to that. Yeah, you got lengthy losing streaks against the 2 schools out of Alabama. Probably a better opportunity to win at Auburn, even though you got Alabama coming into Fayetteville this year. But, I mean, Andy's right. I mean, Arkansas went into Georgia and Alabama last year. It's pretty rare that you have to play Georgia and Alabama on the same schedule. But when you got to go both places on the road, good freaking luck. Back with more halftime.
Hey, this is Mitch at Red River Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep. And folks, this is my favorite time of year. It's Jeep Freedom Days. And you know, at Red River, one thing we believe in, that's freedom. Like right now, you've got the freedom to order your car online at redriverjeep.com. You can custom build it and get it however you want. And you have the freedom to take the in-person experience and come in and order your vehicle right here from a salesperson or buy one right off our lot. So make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs or check us out online at redriverdodge.com.
Try out the SiriusXM app free for 1 month and amp up your summer. Plug into over 350 channels packed with ad-free music, plus comedy, news, talk, Howard Stern, live sports, and more. Create personalized Pandora stations and dive into the best collection of podcasts curated just for you. So check out all the great entertainment we have to offer for free on the SiriusXM app.
Wave Rural Connect has opened their Lutherville zone, serving Hagerville, Knoxville, Lamar, and Ross areas with fiber internet starting at $49.95 a month. TV and phone service available too. Sign up now and the $100 install fee is being waived. Call 833-492-8372 or go online to signup.waveruralconnect.com and get the best customer service available and the fastest internet from Wave. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Metal Mart offers high-quality, prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shops, carports, and more. They strive to be the company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials you need to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford, with locations in Fort Smith, Mayflower, Jonesboro, and Little Rock, or catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
It's time for Breeden RV's Labor Day blowout sale from September 1st through the 10th. With nearly $4 million of inventory, we are sure to have the next travel trailer, fifth wheel, or motorhome in stock and ready for adventure. That means now is the best time to get your first RV or upgrade your existing RV. Start 2022 with a Coachman Clipper for just $207 a month, or save $34,000 off MSRP on a 2022 Dutchman Astoria, both with maintenance for life. Don't miss your opportunity to save thousands at Breeden RV in Van Buren, where adventures begin. See dealer for details.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Find us on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
That is the sound of a Matt Olson grand slam.
So I'm going to be honest, Phil. I didn't see your mouth moving on the screen, so I didn't turn you on yet. And then I was like, "What is he doing?" And then I put it up, and I heard audio. You want to play that one more time for the listening audience?
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have gone by your face.
How far is that one going? It is a river bomb.
That's the sound of a Matt Olson grand slam clearing the fence and clearing the stands and landing in the Allegheny River in Pittsburgh yesterday as Atlanta continues hot. 12th win in 14 games with a 14-2 victory yesterday. You're going to get a really interesting series starting tomorrow in St. Louis. The Cardinals and the Braves get it going tomorrow. St. Louis closes a series at Wrigley today. This is a rubber match of sorts because the 5-game series concludes today, and it is tied 2 apiece. There was one thing on that Pirates-Braves game yesterday, though, that I just kind of scratched my head about a little bit here. For one thing, the Pirates lost, so they gained ground on last place. You know how I am with this. I'm just looking for them to finish dead last, completely dead last, not just in the division, but overall in the National League.
Such an anti-fan.
And they are now 4.5 games in front of Washington for DLP, dead last
Well,
place.
The Rock says if you are the game, then quite frankly, you need to go back to the drawing board because your game absolutely sucks.
Rock, there is no drawing board for the Pirates, none whatsoever. They don't have a crayon. They don't have a dry erase marker. There's nothing to write on if they had it anyway. But
Don't worry, Phil. One day you'll have faith again. One day, like me.
What they do have, though, is the king of StatCast. Like, this is supposed to mean something. I appreciate StatCast for what it is. Yeah, it's analytics that don't have anything to do with the results. Now we got into this a little bit yesterday, Drew, about the idea of failure in baseball and everything. I think players want to worry about what their average is and whether or not a ball falls in and all of that. But what I see the mindset that's coached by the Arkansas coaching staff, and I saw this as well in the minor leagues, It's to not focus on the result. It's to focus on the process. And they will keep track of quality at-bats and hard-hit line drives, because that's all you can really do. You have nothing. You have no say or no factor in deciding whether or not some guy made a great play on a ball that you hit, 122.4 miles per hour. But the thing here is that you don't want to be striking out a ton. O'Neal Cruz, this is a very interesting professional baseball player from the Dominican Republic. He is the tallest, I think he's the tallest non-first baseman or pitcher in Major League history. He's a shortstop, and he's 6'7".
This is cell phone guy, right?
No, that's Rodolfo Castro.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, O'Neal Cruz. Yeah, his cell phone. He's so tall, he could fit his cell phone just in his sock, and it would just sit there for him for a while. But no, this is the king of Statcast, the king of Statcast, because yesterday he hit a ball that didn't have the height to clear the 21-foot fence in right field, but it was 122.4 miles per hour off the bat, according to Statcast. That is the hardest ball hit since Statcast was invented, which I think it's been 8 or 9 years. Giancarlo Stanton has usually been the king of Statcast for how hard a ball is hit off the bat, but Cruz eclipsed him. He also, earlier this year, threw a ball from shortstop 97.8 miles per hour. None of these things have anything to do with a success rate of any kind, which is what we look at as fans and as media members more often than, quality at bat or line drive percentage or those sort of things. And so Cruz, this guy is striking out almost half of his at bats. So what does it matter if you hit it 122.4 miles per hour when .99 with a 249 on base, and he struck out 83 times in 200 at-bats?
Because that's the game of today, Phil. It doesn't matter how much you strike out. All that matters is if you can hit the ball with power and you can hit it 122.4 miles an hour.
It blew me away. I opened up MLB's website this morning, and the first headline on their headlines on the right side was O'Neal Cruz breaking Statcast. It didn't even mention the final score of the game. O'Neal Cruz was the headline.
How does that matter?
They lost 14-2. They lost 14, could hit the ball 3,000 miles per hour, and they still lost by a dozen runs. So, and I love these sort of things. I love these analytics. We use this stuff at Arkansas baseball all the time. If he hits 122.4 miles per hour, it should land in. But when you hit it 0 miles per hour with a swing and a miss, it just doesn't matter very much.
It doesn't, but once again, that's just how today's baseball is consumed. It's consumed by these analytics. It's consumed by these StatCasts, numbers, and everything like that. It's the same reason why you still open up so many stories on MajorLeague.com or ESPN or Fox Sports or anywhere else you go to get your MLB news. And you see these headlines about Shohei Ohtani. You see these headlines about Mike Trout. And then at the bottom of the article, if you make it that far, Angels lost 8-3 to the Detroit Tigers. Exactly. That's the thing. It doesn't for some fans and for some players in baseball. I guess it doesn't matter. Winning doesn't matter.
You realize though, Cruz is really amazing.
How we consume it now.
He's a tremendous athlete. For one, to be that big and to play shortstop, we thought Cal Ripken and A-Rod were big shortstops. They're not 6'7". What was Cal? 6'4"? I think A-Rod is 6'3".
I'm gonna have to double check that, but somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's amazing to think of somebody that tall to play that position, because it's weird to even watch someone that's 6'7" try to swing a bat, for crying out loud, or pitch.
6'4", yep.
But this guy has hit a bunch of balls that are over 110 miles an hour, including ground balls. Sooner or later, he's going to kill a pitcher. The line drive back of the pitcher, there's no way a pitcher will be able to react to a ball that's 120 miles an hour off the bat coming right at his face. So if he's out there, you might want to have a face mask on that. Well, get a helmet. Some of these pitchers have the sort of hard hat helmets sort of thing that they'll wear. You put it on when O'Neal Cruz is up, or just strike him out, because it seems to happen.
Seems to be pretty easy as it is.
A lot more than the ball actually being put into play. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. Stay with us. We're wrapping up the second hour next.
The good old summertime is here, and Jelco Outdoors has all your fishing gear for summer trips at the lake or river. Check out the fishing kayaks by Old Town and New Canoe. Summer savings up to $300 off select model. Get ready for fall archery season now with a new bow by Hoyt, Matthews, Elite, and Bowtech. Jelco has the largest selection of box blinds for fall hunting. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors during the good old summertime. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Whew, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road-ready premium pre-owned vehicles. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith is open and ready to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations available for ages 5 and up and the new second booster for ages 50 and up. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your booster appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Randy Milam in Alma or Brad Howe in Van Buren about Shelter's home insurance. It's the weekend warehouse blowout sale for Davis Floor Covering. Loaders will be available. If you've been thinking about flooring, now is the time to buy. Price is so low, you'll never regret your purchase. Wood, vinyl, laminate, natural stone, and all the glues, mortar, coat base, and supplies. Weekend warehouse blowout sale is Friday, August 26th from 9 to 4 and Saturday, August 27th from 10 to 2. Come out Saturday and get free hot dogs and soda. Weekend warehouse blowout sale, 9705 Rogers Avenue, right before you get to Barling.
Road Chevrolet Van Buren is hosting their second annual car show, Saturday, September 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right out front on the lot. Hot rods, food truck, giveaways, face painting, and vehicles of all makes and models. This event will be fun for the whole family. Have a cool car or know of someone who does? Call Savannah Neal at 479-474-4000. Road Chevrolet Van Buren, exit 2A off I-540. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Calling all fans of flavor, there's something new at your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Fridays Fajitas. Fajitas you love in bold new flavors like dynamite shrimp, tandoori chicken, and the spicier whiskey glazed blaze Tex-Mex. Right now, get free chips and queso with any Fajitas order. Dine in or order online for curbside pickup at Fridays.com. New Fridays Fajitas at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! To do today.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Calls and texts on halftime are 877-377-6963. And we've got Marty in Fayetteville on the lines right here. Hey, Marty, what's up? You're on halftime.
Hey guys.
I went through the new facilities at Baum Walker over the weekend with the Razorback Foundation tour thing. Just amazing, right? So anyways, the reason why I'm calling is as we were walking through, they were showing the pitching lab, and young Mr. Faraday was throwing off in there. And, I was like, holy crap, who is this kid, right? I mean, he was throwing straight cheese. He had to be hitting 98 on his fastball. And I was just like, man. And then I did a little digging, so he pitched an inning or so. I just want to get your read on what you think, Phil, we've got in him coming up.
Well, I've watched him throw in the pen before, but as far as like in a game, there was just that one game where you could tell he's trying to figure out command and just had a lot of trouble with it. So that's why you didn't see him on the pitcher's mound very much. But there's no doubt he might have consistently the fastest fastball on the team. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw him throwing 98 to 99. It's kind of close to where I think you see Jackson Wiggins' velocity get up to. And he's got that kind of body, that like tall, long-limbed body where he could really twist himself up, and his release point is closer to the plate, so there's even a higher perceived velocity. I think there's a lot there. I'm just not sure what to make of it, because if he was a freshman last year, so these things happen. He'll get an opportunity, I would imagine, in fall ball to make an impression, and the same in January and in February. I bet you they give him an opportunity to get out there and pitch early in the season, because with a fastball like that, you want to get that kid on the mound, but only if he throws strikes.
Real quick, a funny interaction I had with Hagen Smith, because he and the guys are just walking. You know how it is when those tours are going through. And so Faraday was on the mound throwing, and I'm like, "Are you gonna throw?" And he goes, "Yeah, a little bit, but you want to watch this guy. This guy throws harder than me." So he's even got the respect of the upperclassmen now.
I love it. It's like when there are pitchers that stop to watch other pitchers warm up or throw a bullpen. Like that's something that's a little bit special. When a guy like Hagen Smith, who should be one of your weekend starters next year, says, "I got to go watch this guy throw," you're watching something special. That's right. But then again, it's all a matter of if he can put it, over the plate and hopefully where he wants to over that plate.
Yeah, he can throw hard, but now he just got to pitch.
Yep, and he's one of those guys that will be that will get a chance. And he's also one of those guys, like when he first gets on the field, on the pitcher's mound next season, watch everybody else in the dugout go belly up to the fence, because they're going to want to see what he can do. Because if he does start to command his pitches better, I think he's a difference maker. You could probably say that about a number of other pitchers on this Arkansas staff too. They got the stuff, otherwise they wouldn't be there. And you figure out the command after that sometimes.
Absolutely. Well, y'all have a good one. Go Hogs.
Okay, Marty.
Hey, appreciate the call.
Thanks for the phone call. 877-377-6963 if you would like to get with us on Halftime today. Let's see. Oh, that's right. Later on today, I got to go pick up the kids at school. I figured out, because I didn't do any picking up at school for a while. It's like, and I never had to worry about like driving around Fayetteville when it was pickup time, because I would just stay home after the show's over, or just go on a bike ride or something. And I wasn't going by. I lived by a school, Owl Creek School. But I would go in the other direction. And the pickup line there really wasn't all that bad. It's like trying to get through MLK when it's let-out time at Fayetteville High School. That's a heck of a lot of fun of some sort. But, like, now that I'm picking the kids up at school, hell is a pickup line.
Is it that bad?
It just is.
You parents complain about it all the time.
The problem is that
I've never been through it as an adult. I remember going through it as a child.
As a child, you were just afraid of getting out of the car and going to see the mean teachers that were treating you like that. Right. Now, I'm sure you were bright and happy and excited and effervescent going into school.
Elementary school, maybe.
The problem is it's like going different directions for these two kids. I got one kid who's a couple miles in one direction, fight the traffic there, and then an hour later, the 13-year-old is in 8th grade, and she's 4 miles in the other direction. Got to pick her up on the way and get through there and fight the traffic and I mean these drop off lines. It's like you're it's like sneaking through some weird parking lot at Disney World or something. You wonder why are they shuffling us this way and that way, but it's not enjoyable. It just isn't, and it's almost a little road ragey, just a little bit road ragey. But sooner or later, you pick up the kid, and then I'm just happy to see them, and then you get the one-word answer. How was school today?
Fine.
What'd you learn today? Tell me everything you learned today.
Nothing.
Please tell me everything you learned today.
Sounds like you and all these other parents. Maybe this is something that we can do. I don't know if we have the calming enough voice to do this, but if we could find somebody with a really calming voice, we could and make like a meditation tape or a podcast for Pickup Line.
We're gonna have to
only people. Then we can make some money here.
We got to convince Ruskin and Zach because they are on the air during pickup time for almost any school. We got to convince them to have a segment.
Give us some alms.
Yes, just a segment to bring down the blood pressure.
Inhale.
Which I'm not sure if those guys are very good at all the time, and maybe they can figure out a segment. Yes. Serenity now.
Yes.
Scream that in the car a few times. It doesn't work. 877-377-6963 to get with us, and we have one more hour on halftime, and we have that next.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
United Hail Pros will fix your hail-damaged car, offering industry-leading paintless dent repair with zero out-of-pocket, a free rental car from Enterprise, and a lifetime warranty. Locally owned and operated. Schedule today at UnitedHailPros.com. Call United Hail Pros today at 479-309-3998. We're on our way.
Trust United Hail Pros.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Lesson 86. This is how you say, gee willikers, it's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. And that's it for today. Bud Light, crisp.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Checking in at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Rocky, if someone wants to come in and put a little fun back into their life, you have a couple of Mustangs that will absolutely fit that need.
We absolutely do. Right here on the showroom floor, I've got a white GT Premium with Showstopper red interior. Absolutely killer combo. GT, automatic 10-speed transmission. You got to come see it.
You have one on the front row as well. That's a 5.0. That's a premium as well. That's a good-looking car. It has that blackout package on it.
Absolutely. Black wheels, black top, blacked out everything. And I do have, I think, 3 more in transit. Should be here any day.
So if someone's wanting to come in, they're wanting to look at a Mustang, they're serious about being stuck in that rut, want to put a little fun back into their life, you have these as well as a couple of others. We also have a Roush.
Absolutely. We've got a Roush Supercharged Stage 2 automatic transmission. That's a 750 horsepower car in race red. Come by, check it out, and come see us today.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, quite a bit of sunshine, only a slight chance of a shower or storm across the south. Our high today in the mid to upper 80s, clear to partly cloudy mid to upper 60s tonight, and just a slight hint of an isolated shower or storm across the south on Friday, highs near 90 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 9 days. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com. Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing. I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hour number 3, halftime on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. Phil Elson, Drew Barrett, Matty T, and no guests here in our third and final hour before we take you into Ruskin and Zach. Earlier on, when we started the show, I was talking about the Cincinnati football program and Sam Pittman describing that they are just like Arkansas, quote, trying to earn respect. Arkansas may be trying to earn respect a little differently than Cincinnati. I guess, one 9-win season in the SEC will engender you some respect, but apparently 44 wins in the last 4 years won't necessarily engender the kind of respect that Sam Pittman is talking about, because Cincinnati is not an SEC team, not yet a Power 5 team, and so their success, I think, in some people's eyes, minds, gets discounted. We've had a couple of other texts come in here that I think describe the thoughts around this. I just don't expect that a team that's won 44 games in the last 4 years doesn't have depth built up behind a group that was that lost 9 into the NFL draft this year and lost 13 players to the NFL draft in the last 2 years. But we've had some people text in saying, look, it was proven that Cincinnati can't hang with an SEC team, judging by what happened against Alabama last year. Arkansas did physically match up okay with Alabama last year. And there's others that say that, look, Cincinnati is a really good team. If Arkansas is not at the top of their game, if they take a first half off in the opener like what happened last year against Rice, a comeback is a lot more difficult against this kind of a program. It was definitely not the Rice Owls. So I wonder where do you come in on this? Where do you come in on this? What are you expecting from Cincinnati next week? I mean, we had a texter think that he would take a bet of 24.5. Arkansas minus 24.5.
I'll take his money all day with that.
And we had another texter come in say that he thought 24.5 is a little crazy, but he'd take 14. I think 14 is too much.
That's too much, too. I'll take
Cincinnati.
that. I'll take all y'all's money if y'all really undervalue and underestimate Cincinnati that much. Like I said, I think Arkansas will win this game, and they're going to start off the season 1-0, but it is not going to be a cakewalk by any measure of the word. It is going to be a fight, and it's going to be a game that Arkansas is going to have to prove exactly what they can do. We think we know what they can do, but this is going to be a really good barometer and a really good test to show us how this whole season's going to go. And I'm telling you, a lot of people, week one, we start getting these predictions and, everybody doing their college game day style pick'ems. I would not be shocked if a lot of people across the country and even across the Southeast area pick Arkansas as a team to lose this one, as kind of on an upset alert for, you think of college game day and they're like underdog specials. I wouldn't be shocked if the Bears got Cincy on the board this week.
This is the tough. I mean, look, Arkansas in the pandemic shortened season opened up against Georgia. So, I mean, it's got to be one of the, if not the toughest opening game for Arkansas maybe ever. Certainly in the last few years that is the case. But you look at some of the other openers. I mean, Rice was okay last year. They were all right. They weren't a good football team. They couldn't keep Arkansas down in the second half, and the Hogs actually won pretty easily, even though they played a really bad first half. 2019, open against Portland State and looked very good doing it. Eastern Illinois, a lot of times Arkansas open up this season against their FCS opponent. Louisiana Tech in 2016 with a 1-point win. UTEP in 2015. Arkansas has opened up against Auburn in 2014 and got blown out in that ball game. But this is an awfully tough opener. So I want to know what you think about it. What are you expecting? Do you think Arkansas could actually take a half off against Cincinnati and still win? Could they take a quarter off and still win? Could they take a series off and still win?
Maybe.
Jody and Harrison, open up against USC. That's the toughest opening game they've ever had because that was the Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush USC team.
How'd that one go?
Yeah, that wasn't pretty. They hung 70 on him or something like that.
Yeah, was it? But then again, I mean, who was actually facing USC in that team then was looking pretty well? I think Texas is the only team that can say they did that.
JT says he doesn't doubt the depth, but he wonders about the quality of players that Arkansas has. Clay Henry has described this to me, and we'll have Clay back with us next week. He's worked on getting John Cooper, the former Ohio State head coach, who coached Luke Fickell, who played at Ohio State. And Cooper told Clay this. It's an interesting point. You know, Ohio State now is a national program where they recruit all across the country. Ohio is a hotbed of football talent. Cincinnati gets a lot of the really good players from Ohio. So they may have players that measure up to Arkansas and a lot of the other SEC teams. Yes, in Georgia 2 years ago, which we mentioned from the 479. That's a really tough one too. I don't remember who Arkansas was supposed to open that season against before the schedule got totally changed up. It wasn't Georgia, that's for sure.
No, it definitely wasn't. And before we move on to more Cincinnati, Will in Fort Smith texted me, wants to remind everybody that Arkansas did score first against USC, so they were up 7-0 at one point in the game. So don't forget about that.
Didn't finish very well. Oh yeah, Greg in Mulberry remembers Club Dub. That's what it was. He asked, "What was the party room called?" It was Club Dub. Opened it up after. Was that after?
How many parties did you have?
Illinois 4.
I was about to say that's. I guess the budget. I mean, I guess the budget was in there to have some parties because I guess it just kept carrying over.
Paul in Fort Smith says Arkansas better bring the A game or they're going to lose. And Nate says, hey, they've got to come to Fayetteville, home field advantage. I agree. I think you do get a home field advantage, and that's why
Notre Dame thought the same thing last year.
The 7.5-point difference, which I see on my live odds app, like you're probably getting an extra 3.5 points because you're playing at home. So in that case, would Arkansas really be favored playing at Nippert Stadium against Cincinnati?
I think it'd be a pick'em. If not Cincinnati being the outright favorite, because I mean you look at the polls, you look at predictions of the season. Now the win total might be a little higher for Cincinnati because they are playing in the American, and the American is not the SEC. I will admit that. I know that. But as far as projections of where these two teams will finish in the rankings, and honestly where they are right now, it's a pretty even match.
The 70 that USC hung in Arkansas was in 2005. That was week 3. We should have known things wouldn't go very well when Arkansas lost to Vanderbilt in the second week of that season. But they did open up against USC at home in 2006, and it was a 50-14 final score. So, I mean, yeah, I've had some pretty tough openers. Was Leinart on that team? 2006.
I think that was Reggie's senior year, but I think Matt Leinart had already graduated. I think his last year was 5.
Booty was the quarterback, backed up by Mark Sanchez.
Oh, Mark Sanchez.
And Mitch Mustaine was backing up Robert Johnson in that ball game. Yeah, 50-14 to open up the season against a USC team that was 6th in the country when the season opened. What's Cincinnati? They're in front of Arkansas in the coaches poll, but behind them in the AP poll. But they're really close. That's why I think they're like 19th or 20th, and Arkansas is 19th or 21st in each of these polls.
In the AP, Arkansas is 19th. Cincinnati is 23 in the AP.
2006 USC crushed Arkansas to open up the season, beat Nebraska when that used to mean something, but lost 2 games to Oregon State on the road and UCLA, but they ended up with a Rose Bowl win over Michigan. So it's the toughest opener.
Did Domkin Sue on that Nebraska team? I think that might have been before him.
I think that was before.
That was before Ndamukong, yeah.
So, what do you expect out of this? 10 points max is what Jody says. Thinks it comes down to a field goal. I think it's going to come down to I think Arkansas can win the game. I would just be surprised if it's more than a score. And if it is, gets to more, 2 scores within the last 4 or 5 minutes of this game. But then again, maybe let's look at this in the most positive light possible. Cincinnati's replacing a lot of talent defensively. Got returners coming back on the offensive side, not the quarterback, though. And let's just say Arkansas is able to run the ball with regularity in the first quarter, and that opens up the rest of the offense. And KJ and these receivers and Trey Knox are hitting on all cylinders. And Arkansas pulls away midway in the third quarter and goes on to win, 38-14. That's the kind of game that I think Jody's expecting. Who was our listener that texted in 24.5 points?
That was Jackson in Fort Smith.
That was Jackson, that's right. That's the kind of game that Jackson is anticipating. I'm not sure if that's the one I'm anticipating. Here's one aspect about playing Cincinnati that we haven't even brought up yet. They've got a battle for the quarterback position. They have the backup, Evan Prater, and a guy who was at Eastern Michigan for 1 year as the starter, but had been a backup at Cincinnati for a couple years before that. One of them is more of a pocket passer. The other, who's Prater, is more of a dual threat quarterback. And they are not giving any inkling to one way or the other as to, meaning the coaches, are not giving any inkling one way or the other as to whom right now they're leaning towards starting against Arkansas. So this is one aspect that the Razorbacks don't have right now a clue. Now, they can plan for both of them, of course, but they're two completely different style quarterbacks. So that's something to pay attention to the end of this week and next week. Like if there are any tea leaves to read from Luke Fickell, who are you going to start against Arkansas? Just see if he just no comments it or just says great things about both of them. So I don't even know if we'll know who starts that game until kickoff.
I'm sure he will. He won't say anything about who's going to be the starting quarterback probably until late next week because it is very close, just like other quarterback battles around the SEC. I don't know if we'll know who's going to start for Ole Miss week 1 until day of the game. So it's kind of like that close decision. But if I was saying Sam Pittman and Barry Odom, I would think I would game plan for Evan Prater. The dual threat quarterback. He's a sophomore, highest recruited player in Cincinnati history, a high 4-star rated at 24/7 as a 93 overall rating. So it definitely fits the system that Luke Fickell and his staff have run the last few years because while Desmond Ridder was a good, really, really good quarterback last year, leading up until last year, his arm was somewhat of a concern. He was a lot like KJ Jefferson, but a little less accurate, where he was really good at the deep ball, had some great wheels on him, but his completion percentage wasn't that high. Now, KJ is definitely a better quarterback than Desmond Ridder, hands down 100%, but it was kind of like that little inkling of a thing. So I think the system that they run is more fit around a dual threat quarterback. So if I had to put money on it, I'm saying Evan Prater is probably going to be the starter for the Bearcats.
Ben Bryant is the other quarterback. He's the one who was at Eastern Michigan. He's more of a pocket passer. So, and they're playing coy about it. And there's Fickell and his offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Gino, I'll say his name incorrectly, Guidugli, are getting lots of questions about it, but no answers whatsoever. Gino says either way, you got a guy in there starting this offense for the first time, and he kind of leaves it at that. 8-7-7.
But he is starting behind an offensive line that's returning.
Yeah, the whole offensive line returning. That's where the game will be won or lost. Arkansas on the line of scrimmage against Cincinnati, and I think the Hogs may have an edge on that. I just wonder how large of an edge it's going to be. All right, at halftime, it's 8-7-7, 377-6963. Brought to you by Pradco Fishing Lures and the Booyah Bait Company. They've got the hottest swimming jig on the Arkansas River. It's the Booyah Mobster, designed by the Muddy Water Mob across Arkansas and Oklahoma. It's been winning tournaments all summer long like clockwork. So if you're fishing submerged or matted grass, make sure you've got the Booyah Mobster to reel them in. You'll find it at learnet.com and tackle stores all throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma. the Booyah Mobster. Take a look at the headlines across sports after the break. And yes, you got a preseason NFL game and the first broadcast featuring Al Michaels and the one and only Kirk Herbstreit. Kaylee Hartung is on the broadcast as well. So if you're going to look at that later tonight, halftime is right back.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Everybody in that audience can relate to Sam Pittman, and I think that's the thing that made him a hit from the moment he got here. There's some quality he has that touches seemingly everybody in our state.
The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fenceman team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fenceman offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fenceman. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fenceman is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
A pre-owned vehicle that won't break the bank? Good luck in this market.
But wait, Joe knows good deals. That's right, Joe could get you in a pre-owned car as low as $269 a month, or a truck starting at only $299 a month. Joe knows how to give you more for your trade and save your hard-earned cash. Come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
College football is almost here, and we're helping you get ready, as we do every season, with Arkansas Game Day, with a special one to start when Arkansas opens up against Cincinnati Saturday, September the 3rd. Now, we'll get things going at 9:30 a.m. Here's the deal. Tommy's going to be back in studio. Drew Barrett's going to be at Randall Ford, and I'm going to be at Sassy's Red House on College. Arkansas Game Day is always presented by Bud Light, and Curveball Whiskey is going to be at Sassy's Red House on College. Get ready for the opening game between Arkansas and Cincinnati with Arkansas Game Day. Heard live on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we're going by the theme music, it's going to be a pretty good broadcast.
Okay,
on
I like it.
Amazon Prime. That's the theme song for NFL Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. Why don't they have that theme song for The Boys, which is my favorite show on Amazon Prime? They should, because it would actually work. This music composed by Pinar Toprak, who also scored Captain Marvel, part of the video game Fortnite.
Ooh.
And she and 70-piece orchestra put this, she's the one who put it together, but they performed it in a 2-day studio session in Nashville. And that sounds good. I like how it kicks in there.
I like it. Yeah, really. I mean, just it starts off strong. It starts off real strong. That's the good thing about a theme song or, anything with football. It's got to start strong. It's got to come out and hit you.
Yeah, you need to have a moment where it punches you and the hair on your neck starts standing up a little bit. I put that one I don't know. I might put that one in front of CBS's music right now. And just judging by the music and the talent, they are, meaning Amazon, light years.
They're throwing some money at it, I'll tell you
light years ahead of Apple TV and what Apple TV does with Major League Baseball Friday nights. The music is boring. I don't even know who the announcers are. They don't have the star names. Mm-hmm. They don't have. It's not like people like Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Kaylee Hartung. And it's like Apple and Amazon go and decide, who has more money, and does it even matter? You watch Apple TV's Major League telecasts, and it's just like, all right, you three here, sit here and talk for a little bit. Maybe talk about the game, but have fun with a bunch of other stuff. Amazon is putting their money where their mouth is here, bringing in, and this is a really interesting broadcast team. Al Michaels is still as good as it gets, television in the NFL. Kirk Herbstreit, I know he's called some NFL football, but not all that much.
I couldn't tell you if I've ever seen Kirk Herbstreit call an NFL game.
And Kaylee
actually, no, I think Kurt and Reese Davis did one on a thing. I want to maybe like a doubleheader Thanksgiving Day or something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's done when ESPN had a doubleheader.
Yeah.
Sometimes he would step in there and do it. And Kaylee Hartung, who started. Well, I don't think she started, but we remember her on the SEC Network. Mm-hmm. She's been on CNN and ABC and getting back into football on Thursday nights. The Michaels Herbstreit thing will be very interesting because Al Michaels had he had great on-air rapport with Chris Collinsworth. Whatever you think of Collinsworth, I think it was obvious the two of them enjoyed each other's company. Mm-hmm. Same with John Madden and I think most of the people he's worked with. But then there was Boomer Esiason. And Al Michaels and Boomer Esiason, I think, still don't like each other. How long did they work together in the Monday night football booth? It was at least 2 years, and it did not go well at all. The reports were they didn't even speak to each other during commercial breaks, and I think doesn't Boomer do Monday night radio broadcasts? I think, or he did some of the Sunday night broadcasts. I think while Michaels
does the radio.
Was on NBC doing Sunday night football. I don't think they ever spoke to each other once when they crossed paths. So, I don't know. Boomer's a talk show host too, and he throws opinions around and bombs and stuff like that. Herbstreit's not, really like that very much. I'd be surprised if there's a battle of egos between the two of them. But it is an interesting tandem to put those two together. But I think Michaels
could work. Though.
Michaels could work with just about anybody.
He could. Yeah, you could put a statue next to him. He's going to get everything possible out of the statue just because he's that 100% true of a professional. I think Herbstreit can work in the NFL. It's going to take some time to get used to. I don't think that they're going to hit a home run tonight. I don't think we're going to be coming on this show tomorrow, starting off the show going, that's it, everybody else stop. That was the greatest play-by-play and color commentary of an NFL game that we have ever watched. I don't think that it's going to be instant, but I think that Alan Kirk can work.
But the music is great. Can I play it one more time?
Let it roll. Let it roll through.
This is some good stuff. Like, this stuff is okay. Just wait till it kicks in.
Got the snare drum there going? Okay.
With that moment where it kicks in, like, you might be at your refrigerator grabbing your first beer for the pregame show or, grilling outside or whatever. Once this thing kicks in, your head's snapping to the television.
Oh, it is.
Just like that. That's a great
intro. It's an attention grabber. It gets you.
877-377-6963. Stay with us. We'll come right back on halftime after this quick break.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Divorce touches all areas of your life. Family, friends, career, retirement. Few things in life affect so much. At Cordell & Cordell, we have a lot of experience protecting these interests for clients across America. In the process, we've come to know our clients pretty well. If you're a guy facing divorce, your chief concern, if you have kids, is to preserve your role in their lives. As to assets, you probably prefer tax-deferred savings over cash, and you likely would rather give up an asset than to pay maintenance. Also, lest you think we didn't notice, you want to pay as little to divorce lawyers as possible. Look, Cordell & Cordell can be successful only if our clients walk away feeling good about us. That means they feel not only that the result was the best possible in the circumstances, but also that their attorney fees were both reasonable and affordable. If this seems right to you, then let us be the partner that you count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Little Rock area attorneys. Office in Midtown Little Rock. Online at CordellCordell.com. Gianna Missouri, licensed in Arkansas.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Espanol.
Find your dream boat at Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma in Roland. With their G3 boats and Suncatcher pontoons, you will find quality you can trust, including G3 boats by Yamaha's industry-leading limited lifetime plus 5-year warranty from bow to stern. Performance you can see, quality you can trust, and the satisfaction you feel with G3 boats and Suncatcher pontoons. Don't miss Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma's 2022 model clearance event through September 21st, and view their complete inventory online at autofindersok.com.
Are you ready for some football? Art's Barbecue and Burgers is ready to take care of you, your family, and your friends on every game day. Take your tailgate to the next level with Art's custom smoked meats, racks of ribs, and all the sides and fixings you'll ever need. Call Art's Barbecue and Burgers at 452-2550, and they'll take care of all the food at the tailgate. That way, all you have to worry about is the face paint. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
It's the weekend warehouse blowout sale for Davis Floor Covering. Loaders will be available. If you've been thinking about flooring, now is the time to buy. Price is so low, you'll never regret your purchase. Wood, vinyl, laminate, natural stone, and all the glues, mortar, coat base, and supplies. Weekend warehouse blowout sale is Friday, August 26th from 9 to 4 and Saturday, August 27th from 10 to 2. Come out Saturday and get free hot dogs and soda. Weekend warehouse blowout sale, 9705 Rogers Avenue, right before you get to Barling.
When it comes to your vehicle dent repairs, you want a local professional that you can trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your place. Michael, his family, and team have been in the community for over 30 years and are the best in the business. When all the other pop-up hail damage places have packed up and left town, Littleton's is still here taking care of your vehicle every day. Stay local. Stay with the best. Stay with the name you know and trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. Highway 112 off I-540 in Pecola.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! You look like an angel. Walk like an angel. Talk like an angel. But I got wise. You're the devil in disguise.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Before we get going again here, I want to remind you that CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers is not just a great place to stop for burgers before you go to Arkansas football at Donald W. Reynolds Stadium. You can still do that at the Russellville location on Arkansas Avenue or at the Fayetteville location on Weddington. But during the game, you can enjoy CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, too, inside the stadium. Concessions in the East Concourse, and they've got a couple of spots in the North End Zone. So you can have your CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers during Arkansas football games. And when all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on Halftime. And let's see, we brought up yesterday, so the highway, the 112 drive-in movie theater will close on after Saturday's double feature of Footloose and then Grease. Want to make sure I get the proper movies in here, one after the other. We had people text in yesterday reminding us there's still a couple of drive-in theaters in Arkansas, and they're both within our listening area. You've got the Kenda Drive-In in Marshall, and that thing's still kicking, man. It's been open since 1966. Has a nice-looking website. See what they're showing, in case anybody would have ever wanted to make a trip. Elvis and Bullet Train starting
Seems
tomorrow.
like a pretty good double feature.
Yeah. You get a little Tom Hanks, and then you get some Brad Pitt. Not bad at all. So that's the Kenda Drive-In. The Stone Drive-In in Mountain View has a little bit more of a dial-up website, but it's okay. And they are open tonight, but they're only doing the single feature, Where the Crawdads Sing.
Oh, I want to see the movie, but I've been told that you have to read the book first. And I normally hate people that
says that.
I know, Phil. I hate when people say that. But one of my best friends is a very avid reader, and it's one of his favorite books. So he told me that I have to read it, and he's not going to go see the movie because he thinks it's going to ruin it for him. So, but apparently it's a really, really good story.
Well, we also have our listening area is also Oklahoma across the border. Oklahoma is like, I guess, a hotbed of drive-in theaters.
The land of the drive-ins?
It's apparently they got more than Arkansas. What do I see here? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow.
7 drive-in theaters in Oklahoma and 2 proposed drive-ins.
They're building
that are
them?
still on the way. That's right. There's a cool website, driveinmovie.com, and it tells me that there are only about 330 drive-in theaters left in the United States, and there used to be over 4,000 of them in the late 50s. So it is as nostalgic as it gets. All right, so get over and see. What are
we going to see in the OK State?
Oh, I closed the site. I'm more interested. Hey man, this weekend I'd head over to 112. I really would, because I bet you it's going to be it's
going to be popping.
Absolutely popping, to the point where maybe somebody will find another place, another wide open space to put 2 movie screens side by side and let people come in with their cars and make a little money off of it. Because the owners of the theater of the 112 Drive-In are selling it because the land is worth so much.
It's worth more than they're making.
They're going to make a lot more just selling the land. But there's got to be land somewhere else that's, at least acceptable with its accessibility to still have something like this. Because I think there's a call that people will enjoy the experience going to the 112 theater. If you've never done it before and you do it one time, you're like, you know what, this was fun. We'll do it again. Just do it in the backyard. Do it in your own driveway.
Yeah, that's the problem. Everybody wants everybody wants progress. Everybody wants for their city or town to continue to build and become the new hotbed for all these Fortune 500 companies and all their employees and everything like that, which is great. And progress is always great, but you do get to the point where at what cost, where the land does become more valuable than any of the current occupants on it. I've seen where very beloved restaurants and bars and movie theaters like the 112 go out of business. Not really go out of business, but decide that it's just makes way more financial sense just to sell the building, sell the land, let them bulldoze it, and put up a parking lot, basically.
And again, if you're outside the listening area and you want to see if there's a drive-in theater near you, that website, driveinmovies.com.
Fastest and
Predictor has come out with this computer's choice for national champion. And apparently the only teams that really have a chance, according to this computer, to win the whole thing are Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, and Clemson. And that's about it. Although, what would you say? When you're saying so there's still a chance, like Dumb and Dumber, is that what's still a chance? What did Lauren Holly tell Jim Carrey that he said you're telling me there's still a chance? 1%?
Less than 1%, I think.
Less than 1%. So if there's less than 1%, then there's still a chance.
There's still technically a chance. I mean,
if
it makes sense to Lloyd, it makes sense to me.
Ohio State, 27.3% chance to win a national title. Alabama, according to the All-State Playoff Predictor, 30% chance to win a national title. Georgia, 24.3%. That there is already, and I'm just doing the math looking at it, is over like 65% of the 100% you need, maybe more than 70%. Clemson, 10.5% chance. Now we're getting into the single digits. Notre Dame, according to the All-State Playoff Predictor, has a 1.7 chance to win the national championship. Michigan, 1.5%. Texas, maybe it was the All-State Playoff Predictor that voted Texas number 1 in the country. 1.6% to win the national title. Now we're getting under 1%, so you're saying there's still a chance. For Oklahoma at 0.9, for Miami at 0.5, for Utah at 0.4, for Oklahoma State at 0.2. LSU, according to Allstate, has a 0.2 chance to win the national championship. Auburn has a 0.1% chance. A&M, 0.1. I'm sensing a theme here. There are a lot of SEC
that have a
West
chance
teams. A lot of SEC West teams. Cincinnati is on this list with less than a 0.1% chance to win. So they're like at 0.01 to win. What this is telling me is that this stupid All-State Playoff Predictor computer is deciding that Arkansas has a very good chance to lose to Cincinnati, to Texas A&M, to Auburn, to LSU, and to Alabama.
So what
'Cause
you're telling me now,
all
Phil,
those schools are on this chance list to win a championship, and Arkansas is not.
So what you're telling me now, Phil, it's not just the opposing fans that hate Arkansas. It's not just the SEC schedule makers that hate Arkansas. It's not just the announcers that hate Arkansas. It's not just the NCAA that hates Arkansas. You're telling me the computers have turned against the natural state, and they're hog haters?
Even the computers.
The computers.
The things, the machines that have absolutely zero unique thoughts amongst itself. It does not think Arkansas has a chance. And it's not even like the idea. I'm not looking at this like, they don't think they have a chance to win the national title. They have how many other teams here that it's on Arkansas's schedule? That's what it's telling me. So we got Cincinnati. There's A&M. There's Auburn. There's LSU. And there is Alabama. That's five. And who put Texas in here?
The same person that put them in the coaches poll?
Exactly right. Well, you got to do something when it is sponsored, and so this computer is sponsored by Allstate, so they have to do it anyway. We'll see. They have 19 schools with some semblance of so you're saying there's a chance to win a national championship.
And according to Michael in Fort Smith, apparently she said 1 in a million.
That's what it was, 1 in a million?
There's a chance.
I think there's a better chance of Lloyd marrying Lauren Holly than of LSU winning a national championship this year, or Auburn, for crying out loud. That is some funny stuff. All right, let's take the final break here on halftime. We got one more segment coming up. JT, halftime doesn't hate Arkansas. Now, that's not our computer.
Come on.
That is not our computer. I got a laptop right in front of me here. Once I punch all the numbers in, my computer's picking Arkansas to go 12-0. Dustin thinks it's Skynet. Yeah. Watch out for the Terminator. 1 in a million is what she said. Yep, she said a lot of other things too, and I think she's saying Arkansas's got a ton of tight games this year, and maybe there's a 0.001% chance that Arkansas ends up undefeated. 877-377-6963. Back to wrap it up on halftime.
Put up a fucking lie.
Entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
It's time for Breen RV's Labor Day blowout sale from September 1st through the 10th. With nearly $4 million of inventory, we are sure to have the next travel trailer, fifth wheel, or motorhome in stock and ready for adventure. That means now is the best time to get your first RV or upgrade your existing RV. Start 2022 with a Coachman Clipper for just $207 a month, or save $34,000 off MSRP on a 2022 Dutch Astoria, both with maintenance for life. Don't miss your opportunity to save thousands at Breen RV in Van Buren, where adventures begin. See dealer for details.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
It's time to call the Hogs with head coach Sam Pittman and Razorback football. Single game tickets are now on sale for one of the best home schedules in program history, including the home opener against Cincinnati and marquee matchups with South Carolina, Alabama, LSU, and more.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Witness the next great Razorback moment by securing your seat for the biggest games before they're gone at ArkansasRazorbacks.com or call 1-800-982-HOGS.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front-row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's Tailgate Packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hi, this is Melissa
with True Grit Running Company. Each day, we see familiar faces who have supported us from the beginning because they see the benefits of an active lifestyle. We're also always meeting new customers who are taking their first steps towards making running or walking a part of daily life. We have the opportunity to share in their successes and help them achieve their goals. The people of Fort Smith and the River Valley are why we believe we were voted one of the best running stores in America. Visit us and see how we can help you. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Way down where the sun shines hot, dogs on the porch, gators in the water. Way down, down in Alabama, muddy Mississippi, swampy Louisiana. We come up a little different around here.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Zach Williams, Rashad Stewart, Isaiah Nichols, done a nice job in there. And then we got an addition out of Terry Hampton. I really like him. You know, he came over out of the portal, got built-in leverage, strong. And then Landon Jackson has really come on. Jordan Dominic has come on as well at defensive end. Those two guys are at defensive end. You know, TC got hurt. Torian Carter got hurt. So that has hurt us a little bit. Marcus Miller's been nicked up a little bit, but Cam Ball's really come on in there. So we feel like we have at least four interior guys that can play, at least four defensive ends. And we haven't even talked about Dorian Gerald. You know, he came back as well, and he splashes. You know, he makes plays out there.
Sam Pittman talking about his defensive line at the Sam Pittman radio show last night at the Catfish Hole. The defensive line has lost a little bit of its depth earlier today. Reports showing that Taylor Lewis, 6'3", 317-pound defensive tackle from Chicago that had transferred from College of the Canyons in California, has entered the transfer portal. And this piece put out by Scotty Bordelon that when media members were at practice, they'd seen him with third team when not injured, but he did sustain a head injury early in camp that cost him a week. Speaking of head injury, I think the other head injury was Cam Ball. Though Sam Pittman never said the word concussion, he sort of hinted that was what had happened to Ball, but now you hear Sam mention Ball's name and that he's come on, and so it seems he's back and he's healthy and he's going to be good to go for Game 1 against Cincinnati, and still think that this defensive line is, I expect it's a deeper defensive line than last year. However, you know, the one area where I just wonder about this a little bit is right there in the middle. When you get into a 3-down lineman situation, John Ridgway was so good last year at just plugging up the middle. That's what Torian Carter was expected to do. I think Isaiah Nichols is really good, but this is where Terry Hampton comes in big, very big, because there's going to be a big rotation there on the defensive line, and certainly whether you're a 3-down lineman or 4-down lineman, the middle is so important. Hampton's getting a lot of talk coming over from Arkansas State. And I wouldn't be surprised that if you're in 4 down linemen to open the season instead of 3, that you end up with Hampton lining up right there next to Isaiah Nichols on the first or second series of the season. So and I mean, what do you think? If we were to pick one position group right now that you have the most, again, is concern the proper word or just questions about it? I feel like you don't have that at wide receiver.
No.
Maybe depth at tight end is an issue, but not the guy who's going to be starting there at the beginning of the season. Secondary's got a lot of depth. Linebacker, maybe. We're hearing some stuff about Jordan Cook, freshman, that could fill in some of that depth. Offensively,
you got Paul there too, which Sam Pittman said last night that he really likes.
Running back is deep. Wide receiver feels deep. Defensive line, it's like you don't know until you start seeing it. It's the same idea with the wide receivers. You can't. You can only go by what you're hearing right now. And Sam Pittman is talking like defensive line is not a weakness. He said earlier there is no weakness on this team. But I think if you're looking at strengths that you have just based upon what you saw out of these guys last year and how they've grown, like that's the one position I think that we're just not sure about 100%.
I'd agree. I think the defensive line and really what you're going to have up front, because that was a question mark all season long. I mean, after about the fourth game, after about A&M, the pressure just kind of went away. You didn't get any pressure against Auburn. You had some lackluster games in the trenches on the defensive side for most of the second half of the season. So it was already a question mark coming in, and then you add on top of new guys there. Then you add on top some of the injuries that we've already seen on the 3 or 4 man front that we're going to see this year. And that's the thing. It's not. I don't think anybody's saying, goodness gracious, this defensive line is going to cost us 3-4 games. But you have to get pressure. That's what these guys are there for. I think you have such a good linebacker core that I don't think it will put a detriment into defending the run game. But the passing game has to get better on the defensive side. You have to be able to get pressure, and we're gonna find out real quick how well they can play and how much pressure they can get. Because, like we said, this is a Cincinnati team that has all 5 of their returning starting linemen back.
Text out of the 918 area code talking about this All-State computer, predicting chances to win a national championship, and he makes a valid point here that if Auburn, LSU. And, of course, Alabama's got the 30% chance according to this computer. But Auburn, LSU, they're both under 1%. Cincinnati's under 0.1%. A&M, I think, was about 1% too. Like, if Arkansas beats those teams, then they would have the shot at the national title, theoretically, right?
Theoretically, would they absorb their percentage?
I guess.
To where if you beat all those teams, I guess outside of Alabama, then you'd have, 6%?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like these teams are being given this chance because of what's on their schedule. The team that comes out of the SEC West, the team that comes out of the SEC East automatically has a chance to win a national championship just based upon being a division champion in this crazy league. But then the non-conference games are also part of what the voters are going by. So let's say Arkansas has this incredible season. I'm not going to say they're going to run through the SEC undefeated. That's not going to happen. But a loss to Cincinnati at home, a loss on the road to BYU, that's the kind of thing that would take you out. Take you out of that, even if you end up somehow, are you listening, Eduardo? Beating Alabama and finding a way to win this division. So, I mean, that's why it's like I look at a computer saying these schools have this chance and that chance and everything else. You win the games that are in front of you, you'll have that opportunity to win the national championship. That's why it's like I look at 5 teams on Arkansas's schedule, 4 of them from this one division. There aren't 4 teams from the SEC East that this computer said have a chance. It's the SEC West. There aren't even 4 teams from other leagues that are on this list of 19 schools. You got 4 teams in this division that has a chance, according to the computer. It's because if you play in the SEC,
you've got a shot.
You got
regardless.
a shot just based on who you play, especially in this division.
Now, crazy scenario here, and follow along with me. This will never happen in 100 years. But let's say it did. SEC West champion has 3 losses, but they win the SEC.
Gosh, when did that happen?
Let's just say that's what happened. SEC West champion has 3 losses. They go into the SEC championship 9-3. Stun Georgia or whoever's there, most likely Georgia. They still get in the playoff? 3-loss team in the playoff?
No.
Really? Even though they won the SEC,
I don't see 3 losses.
You'd give it to a 1-loss, 12-1 Georgia team?
When was the last 3-loss national title, if ever?
I want to say LSU.
Just going.
Didn't one of Les Miles? Okay,
I think it was 2 losses. Like 2-loss national champions.
Was it one of the
still
Floridas?
Feels weird, but then again, like a 3-loss division champion.
I want to say one of the BCS champions had 3 losses. 3 losses.
I'm going back through the SEC media guide here. Mm-hmm. I'm back to 2006, and I still don't see a 3-loss champion in any of the years between now and then.
That's why I said it would never happen. But it's just a crazy scenario.
Here's the last time it happened. 2001, LSU and Auburn tied for the Western Division Championship with a 5-3 record.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, how rare is the year? You had Alabama, Arkansas, and Ole Miss finished 4-4, and Mississippi State pulled up the rear at 2-6. And that's back when Mississippi State winning 2 games was like a big deal in the SEC. Times have changed. We're at the end of halftime on what's been a glorious Thursday, and we appreciate you being part of it. And we've got you tomorrow for another award-winning edition of Halftime. So for Drew and for Maddie, I'm Phil. I want to remind you to download the latest edition of the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Comes out within the next 30-40 minutes, and Ruskin and Zach will take you from 2 until 7. So get up, get out, and get better.